And here it is. We go again. Roll up, ladies and gentlemen. One man went to mow. Here it is. We go again. 10 minutes later than I advertised, but nevertheless, here I am. Hope you're still there. Certainly hope you are. The session has commenced and your company is required. That thing that happens twice a day, the first righteousness being fulfilled right now. So if you are available, then just gather and let's participate. If you want to come join me live on the screen, the hyperlink is there for you to click on. So if you clicked on that hyperlink that says StreamYard, that brings you to a studio space. And as soon as I finish reading out the talking points, then I'll let you onto the screen and engage you in a conversation. So that thing that we do every day, we're doing it right now. One man went to mow, the eagle has landed.
Another Savior, holy, 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 Adimebujuku. Another Savior, holy, 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 Adimebujuku.
Well, this is Mobien. This is dedicated to the gallant heroes of the Nigerian Biafra War and IPO families all over the world. I remember the Nigerian Biafran War, in the thickness of the Biafra genocide. Hey, one man revived the vanishing hope to life. Let the great Biafran army to fight, and they were singing out, holy, 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 is another Savior. They were singing out, holy, 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 is another Savior. Holy, 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 is another Savior. Many years after the genocide, whoa, yet another great leader has risen up now. Oh, and he's leading the Biafrans to victory. In your madika, yabika kokwa namno wow. Hey, anamekele maduche mefo. Manemo, it's an honor having you on board. When I'm singing along, holy, 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 Nnamdi Kanu is another Savior. Sing along, holy, 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 Nnamdi Kanu is another Savior. When I sing along, holy, 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 is another Savior. Getting moving right and getting moving faster now. Holy, 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 is another Savior. Holy, holy, getting moving right and moving faster. Never freedom. Is another Savior. Never freedom. Holy, 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 Nnamdi Kanu is another Savior.
Another Savior, holy, 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 Adimebujuku. Another Savior, holy, 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 Adimebujuku.
Well, this is Mobien. This is dedicated to the gallant heroes of the Nigerian Biafra War and IPO families all over the world. I remember the Nigerian Biafran War, in the thickness of the Biafra genocide. Hey, one man revived the vanishing hope to life. Let the great Biafran army to fight, and they were singing out, holy, 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 is another Savior. They were singing out, holy, 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 is another Savior. Holy, 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 is another Savior. Many years after the genocide, whoa, path to victory. Inyamadika, yabika kwa namno wow. Hey, anamekele mazuche mefo.
And there it is right there. Holy, holy. All right. So, sorry, I was just checking something there. So that's the Holy, Holy song. So let's just get straight into it. So Holy, Holy, as guys, I bring you this. Buhari once again rules out political solution bill for leader of IPOB. So Buhari now essentially, and I think this was in a conversation with the British Prime Minister Boris Johnson at the Commonwealth get together in Rwanda. So he, of course, trying to pressure, because you have to understand that NNAMDI KANU, a British card, a British passport carrier. Well, so he carries a British passport. So that obliges them, Boris Johnson, to do whatever he can to try and get him out of incarceration. Buhari once again rules out political solution, bail for IPOB leader NNAMDI KANU. So quite what conversation took place and what was said, we find out shortly. This we find out shortly as well. Anti-graft agency ICPC uncovers billions in cash meant for arms, ammunition to fight Boko Haram in Abuja home of ex-chief of army staff, Burutai. So there it is right there. Rolex watches, etc., is just like hitting a jackpot. It's like happening on whatever, some hidden treasure from back of beyond. This is what happened when ICPC raided this particular house. Anti-graft agency, ICPC, uncovers billions in cash meant for arms, ammunitions to fight Boko Haram in Abuja home of ex-chief of army staff, Burutai. So there it is right there. And the war on insurgency, as Showore famously told us, it started as a crisis and it has turned into a business. So there it is. Those words by Showore, that's the echo of it right there. That's the validation. Anti-graft agency ICPC uncovers billions in cash meant for arms, ammunition to fight Boko Haram in Abuja home of ex-chief of army staff Burutai. So there it is right there. I mean, it's disappointing but not surprising. We all knew that this was what was going on, but disappointing but not surprising. Presidential candidate Atiku Tinubu, with history of fraud allegations, not likely to promise anti-corruption fight during campaign. So who is saying this? It's not a Labour Party, it's not AAC, it is the international and internationally respected news organization, Bloomberg, that is giving us this piece. So they are saying, of course, that these people have no expectations of anything other than what you have already known from particularly these two elements, Atiku and Tinubu. Presidential candidate Atiku Tinubu, with history of fraud allegations, not likely to promise anti-corruption fight during campaign, Bloomberg. So can you then imagine Tinubu straddling the rostrums nationwide, telling you that he's going to fight corruption to the bitter end? Can you imagine that? That is not something you are going to hear from his mouth. And the lesser likely place to hear that will be from Atiku. Can you imagine somebody like Atiku or Tinubu straddling rostrums to tell you that they are going to fight corruption? I don't even think their sense of hypocrisy would allow them to say that. Presidential candidate Atiku Tinubu, with history of fraud allegations, not likely to promise anti-corruption fights during campaign. So, I mean, there it is right there. I mean, need I add any more? But to this though I go, separatists, losers of 2015-2019 elections, were behind end SARS protest. So Femi Adesina is the person making this headline. So it looks as though the penny has not dropped and the lessons not learned from what happened at NSAS. And this guy is trying to dismiss it derisively as just a politically motivated activity. So this is it. It's NNAMDI KANU and it's Atiku Abubakar that collaborated together to organize NSAS. This is essentially what Femi Adesina is saying. Separatists, losers of 2015-2019 elections, were behind hashtag NSAS protest, Buhari's aid, Femi Adesina. So there it is right there. They've not learned a single thing, essentially, is what he's telling you. So there it is right there. But with this one, I might not read you the fullness of it because, as always, this guy has written a whole book just on this topic. So I might abandon it when I feel that, pardon me, I might abandon it when I feel that the point has been made and has been established, because it looks quite long-winded and I'm already dreading reading it, just looking at how lengthy it is. So we land finally on this space now. Abuja home where we found looted cash not owned by Buritai, ICPC. So is this a cover-up or not? Is the thing. First they found the money, and then they remained mum on who exactly the attribution goes to, and finally they come out now to say to exonerate somewhat Buritai. So quite in between reading the two pieces, we'll be able to glean exactly what is going on. So lean back, kick back, take it easy, relax into it. The usual protocol: click on the like button as you're coming in, click on the subscribe button if you haven't already. If you want to come join me live on the screen, click on the hyperlink that says StreamYard, and then that brings you onto a studio space. Soon as I finish reading out the talking points, I'll let you onto the screen and engage you in a conversation. That is how it works. It's an interactive session, an open microphone session, the open microphone being the hyperlink that says StreamYard. So as you said about the clicking on the like and subscribe and making the decision if you want to join me on the screens or not, let me provide you with a little bit of a liquid nourishment. Get your calabash to the ready and let's join the guys.
Water, only water, where they see ma. Water,
only water, where they see ma.
Hapa o naido. Hapa you don't come o. Hapa o naido. Oro kẹ̀kẹ́ ẹlẹ́mù yé o. Ilé sọ́dí àkẹ́kẹ́ rẹ̀ ẹlẹ́mù rẹ̀ o. Bọ́bí Master kẹ̀kẹ́ rẹ̀ ẹlẹ́mù rẹ̀ o. Chief Wáìlà tí kẹ̀kẹ́ rẹ̀ ẹlẹ́mù rẹ̀ o. Eruku lẹ̀lẹ̀ ẹlẹ́mù dé. Eruku lẹ̀lẹ̀ ẹgbẹ́ ẹlẹ́mù dòde ojàre o. Eruku lẹ̀lẹ̀ Ghana ti dé ẹgbẹ́ bọ́dì o. Ọmọ ẹlẹ́yẹ ẹyẹ o ó dìle o. Odúyẹ̀lá ẹyẹ o ó dìle o. Petrosonama ẹyẹ o ó dìle o. Petrosodúnkẹ́ ẹyẹ rẹ̀ ó dìle o. Ẹlẹ́kọ̀ ọ̀run mú ìní o. Àkùkọ ọ̀run méjìkọ. Ikú kò ní ríwà gbéṣe o.
And there it is right there. Powerful, potent prayer by the guys. So I've come across about two or more headlines I want to share with you just in the course of that music playing. So we just let's huddle through it. Let's hold on. Yes, let's rapid through it just as much as we can. Buhari once again rules out political solution bill for IPOB leader NNAMDI KANU. President Mohamed Buhari has once again ruled out the idea of a political solution or bail option for the detained leader of the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra IPOB NNAMDI KANU in his current legal battle with the federal government. KANU is recently undergoing trial at an Abuja High Court on charges bordering on terrorism, treasonable felony, illegal possession of firearms, amongst others. The statement by Buhari is coming a few days after he accused IPOB of complicity in crude oil pipeline vandalism, which has negatively impacted on production in the country. According to a statement by the special advisor to the president on media and publicity, Femi Adesina, this was made known by Buhari during a bilateral meeting with the British Prime Minister Boris Johnson on the margins of the 26th Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting in Kigali, Rwanda. Buhari has denied insinuations that NNAMDI KANU was not being allowed to have access to his lawyers privately, adding that the detained separatist was being given every opportunity under the law to justify all the uncomplimentary things he has been saying against Nigeria in Britain. What Buhari is saying. Buhari insinuated that the federal government is not favorably disposed to granting NNAMDI KANU bail, as he jumped bail before. He said he felt very safe in Britain and said awful things against Nigeria. We eventually got him when he stepped out of the United Kingdom, and we sent him to court. Let him defend all that he has said there. His lawyers have access to him. Remember, he jumped bail before. How are we sure he won't do it again if he is admitted to bail? On the question of running for another term by the British Prime Minister, on the question of running for another term by the British Prime Minister, who obviously is not familiar with Nigeria's maximum two-term limit, Buhari said he would not be running for a third term. He said, "Another term for me? No. The first person who tried it didn't end very well. What you should know, recall that NNAMDI KANU was first arrested on the 5th. Recall that NNAMDI KANU was first arrested in 2015 on charges bordering on terrorism, treasonable felony, managing an unlawful society, publication of defamatory materials, illegal possession of firearms, and improper importation of goods, amongst others. He was initially detained and arraigned in court, but he fled the country in 2017 after he was granted bail for medical reasons, following an attack on his country home by security forces with pardon me, I need to drink some water. He was initially detained and arraigned in court, but he fled the country in 2017 after he was granted bail for medical reasons, following an attack on his country home by security forces, which led to some casualties. The embattled IPOB leader was later intercepted on June the 27th, 2021, and repatriated to Nigeria with the collaborative efforts of the Nigerian intelligence and security services to face the charges for which he was arrested about 4 years since he jumped bail. His repatriation followed an operation conducted by Nigerian security operatives in collaboration with international partners. Meanwhile, KANU was rearranged by the Department of State Services DSS on charges bordering on alleged terrorism and treasonable felony on October the 21st, 2021, which journalists prevented from entering the court to cover the proceedings, and the case was adjourned till November the 10th for further hearing. In April, a federal high court in Abuja struck out 8 of the 15-count charge filed against the IPOB leader. So that there it is right there. You can whistle for it, is what Boris Johnson said regarding bail for NNAMDI KANU. So here it is now. Anti-graft agency ICPC uncovers billions in cash meant for arms, ammunition to fight Boko Haram in Abuja home of ex-chief of army staff, Buratai. The Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission ICPC has recovered 1.85 billion naira from a house and office said to belong to former Chief of Army Staff Tukur Buratai in Abuja, multiple sources have reported. Buratai, a retired lieutenant general, was the Chief of Army Staff between 2015 and 2021. Sources said ICPC officials stormed the house in Wuse area beside the National Open University of Nigeria campus in Abuja last week after it received a tip-off by a whistleblower. Correspondents gathered that a huge cash was part of the huge cash was part of the multi-billion naira earmarked for the purchase of arms and ammunition by the Mohamed Buhari-led government. Last week, Thursday, ICPC officials stormed a house in Wuse area of Abuja beside National Open University and arrested a man, Kabiru Salisu, after they saw 850 million naira in cash in the house. A source said he claimed the money belonged to Tukur Buratai, who was in Cotonou at the time. Officials of the ICPC took him to an office where another 1 billion naira in cash was also discovered. Also, bulletproof cars, BMWs, G-Wagons, worth 450 million naira were recovered. Serious pressure is being mounted to claim money found was only 30 million, another source said. In March 2021, Nigeria's National Security Advisor NSA Babagana Mongono revealed that funds running into billions of naira meant for the procurement of arms and ammunition under the past service chiefs were unaccounted for. His revelation came a few months after President Mohamed Buhari replaced Buratai and other service chiefs. Others were former Chief of Army Staff Gabriel Olani Shakin, Chief of Army Staff Abubakar Sadiq, and Chief of Naval Staff Ibok Ibas. According to Mongono, neither the money nor the arms were on the ground upon the resumption of the new service chiefs. Now that President Buhari, has brought new service chiefs, hopefully they will devise some ways. I am not saying the former service chiefs diverted the money, but the money is missing. We don't know how, and nobody knows. For now, he has stated. The president will surely probe this matter. As we speak, the Nigerian Governors Forum too are also wondering where all the money went. I can assure you that the president takes issues of this nature seriously. The fact is that preliminary investigation shows the funds are missing and the equipment are nowhere to be found. When the new service chiefs assumed office, they also said they did not see anything on the ground. History of graft. Correspondents had in a series of publications in 2016 exposed how Buratai procured expensive assets in Dubai, the United Arab Emirates, between 2013 and 2015 from proceeds of crime. He and his two wives in 2013 paid the sum of 1.5 million Dubai money for the first property. So it goes on to document Burutai's thievings. So we just abandon that. We already know that it's a thief. But the list of his dealings then goes on to be documented. Presidential candidate Atiku Tinubu, with history of fraudulent allegations, not likely to promise anti-corruption fight during campaign. Bloomberg. The presidential candidate of the ruling All Progressives Congress APC and opposition People's Democratic Party PDP, Bola Tinubu and Atiku Abubakar, have been described as unfit to end corruption in the country. According to a Bloomberg report, the duo's past records show that neither of them is free of corruption allegations, adding that 7 years after President Mohamed Buhari promised to swiftly defeat corruption, corruption in Nigeria has become worse than it was in 2015. According to the report, the history of graft allegations surrounding the two candidates mean that neither is likely to curb corruption in the run-up to that is to say, to promise. The leader is likely to promise, they should say, to curb corruption in the run-up to February's votes. Uh, Frontrunner Bola Tinubu, who secured the ruling party's nomination earlier this month, was being investigated by the country's anti-corruption agency as recently as last June. 3 decades ago, he fought a lawsuit in which the United States government accused him of laundering the proceeds of heroin trafficking and eventually reached a settlement. Atiku Abubakar, his chief rival, brought tens of millions of dollars of suspect funds into the United States when he was Nigeria's vice president in the 2000s, according to a United States Senate report, and was implicated in a bribery case that resulted in the imprisonment of an American congressman. Neither episodes resulted in charges against Abubakar. Spokesmen for Tinubu and Abubakar did not respond to requests made by Bloomberg for comments. The report noted that Nigeria's next president will face a daunting challenge to turn around Africa's largest economy. It further noted that failing oil production threatened Nigeria's place as the continent's biggest crude oil producer. It lamented how inflation is soaring in the country, with more than half of the working age population either unemployed or underemployed. The local currency has depreciated steeply under outgoing President Mohamed Buhari, falling from 220 naira to the dollar on the widely used parallel market when he was first elected in early 2015 to about 600 to the dollar this week. Nigeria vies with India as the country with the highest number of people living in extreme poverty, despite having Nigeria vies with India. Sorry, there's a helicopter going through. Come on, hurry up. Take your time. All right. Otherwise, I'll have to shout over the sound of it. And there it is. Nigeria vies with India as the country with the highest number of people living in extreme poverty, despite having a seventh of the population. Meanwhile, secessionist, Islamist militants, and armed criminal gangs terrorize large swathes of the territory. Efforts to restore security and fix the economy alone will likely fall short because there is an unavoidable connection between financial graft and government dysfunction in Nigeria, said Lina Koni Hoofman, an associate fellow at Chatham House in London. Corruption hollows system out and cripples them from inside, she said. The race will see the two wealthy septuagenarians mobilize impressive political machines built over more than 30 years, pursuing power in Africa's most populous country. Voters in Nigeria are often offered cash, food, or clothing to persuade them to cast their ballot for particular candidates. The report recalled how, on the eve of the last election in 2019, two armored bank vans were photographed driving into Tinubu's home. If I have money to spend, if I like, I give it to the people for free of charge, as long as it is not to buy votes. So listen to that. So that's Tinubu talking. Is giving money free to money to people during election free of charge, but it is not to buy votes. These are direct quotations for me because it's in quotation marks. If I have the money to spend, if I like, I give it to the people for free of charge, as long as it is not to buy votes. This is what Tinubu told reporters when asked what the vehicle were transporting. Tinubu and Abubakar have cultivated deep systems of political patronage, according to Hoofman. Both men excel in engineering and expanding political networks through co-option through channeling and redistributing money and positions and favors. She said, Tinubu 70, who lives in Lagos rich, wealthiest neighborhood, says he made his fortune before going into politics by investing well and working as an accountant for companies including Deloitte LLP. Abubakar 75, his age keeps dropping, you know. He was 77 the last time, now he's 75. It's just ridiculous, isn't it? Abubakar, 75, who split his time between Nigeria and Dubai, spent 2 decades working for the government's custom department and co-founded a large logistics and oil services firm that has operated concessions at Nigeria's ports, the report added. It recalled a report published in 2010 by the U.S. Senate Permanent Subcommittee on Investigations, which said one of Abubakar's wives helped her husband bring more than $40 million in suspected funds into the United States whilst he was Nigeria's vice president. The incident this includes at least $1.7 million in bribe paid to Siemens AG. Abubakar and his then spouse previously have denied any wrongdoing. Former U.S. Representative William Jefferson was sentenced to 13 years in prison in 2009 for taking bribes from American companies interested in doing business in Nigeria and Ghana. In July 2005, Jefferson told a cooperating witness that in July 2005, Jefferson told a cooperating witness that Atiku Abubakar had also agreed to accept a bribe in exchange for his assistance, according to a Louisiana congressman's indictment. Atiku, however, denied the allegations, saying he had no personal or business relationship with Jefferson. Atiku's hope of succeeding President Olusegun Obasanjo in 2007 were torpedoed when the EFCC declared him unfit to hold public office, and a Nigerian Senate panel recommended his prosecution for allegedly diverting government funds. But Atiku has described it as political persecution. Both Tinubu and Atiku will focus on issues other than corruption whilst campaigning. Both Tinubu and Atiku will focus on issues other than corruption whilst campaigning, said Hoffman. They know it is not part of their political image, she said. So there it is right there. So it's just the one thing we know for certain is that a thief is going to be the Nigerian president come 2023. That we may not know anything else, but what we do know is that whoever becomes the Nigerian president in 2023, most likely either Atiku or Tinubu, is a gold standard thief. So there it is right there. Buhari told to sack arrest Burutai over 1.8 billion naira arms fund. President Muhammad Buhari has been urged to sack the Nigerian ambassador to Benin Republic, Lieutenant General Tukur Burutai. Deji Adeyanju, an Abuja-based activist, said Buhari should also order Burutai's arrest over the alleged billions discovered in his house. Reports had it that the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission (ICPC) recovered 1.85 billion naira from a house and office said to belong to Burutai in Abuja. ICPC officials were said to have stormed the house in Wuse area of Abuja following a tip-off by a whistleblower. The huge sums said to have been recovered is alleged to be part of the billions of naira earmarked for the purchase of arms and ammunition by the President Muhammad Buhari-led government. Reacting, Adeyanju said Burutai should be prosecuted for the money discovered in his house. In a tweet, Adeyanju wrote, Buhari should sack Burutai over the alleged discovery of billions of naira in his house meant for the fight against insurgency and order his arrest and prosecution not out of any pretense of fighting corruption, but out of shame because Dasuki was detained for many years for diverting arms funds. So there it is right there. And the hypocrisy of it, of course, we know Buhari always covers for these people. So let's go back to the Ikeremadu storyline. This is one of the stories that I discovered just in the middle of playing that Kegai song. Reactions as alleged photo of 15-year-old donor Ikeremadu took to UK surfaces. Uh, so the picture is not actually the picture that is being widely circulated, but let's see what this adds on to the Ikeremadu storyline. Uh, Nigerians have reacted to the alleged photo of 15-year-old donor David Upo Unwanmini, who was flown to the United Kingdom to donate one of his kidneys to Ike Ikuremadu's daughter, who is down with kidney ailment. Correspondents earlier reported that Ikuremadu and his wife were denied bail and are remanded till July the 7th after they were arrested in London by the specialist crime team of the United Kingdom's Metropolitan Police for alleged conspiracy to harvest the organ of a child. In a statement on Thursday, the Metropolitan Police confirmed that the pair conspired to facilitate the travel of a child to the country in order to harvest the minor's organ. The police added that the investigation was launched after detectives were alerted to potential offenses under modern slavery legislation in May 2022. However, David's imagined photo has drawn reactions on social media as many citizens thanked God for saving his life. Some of the reaction, poor boy, God saved your life. One, the stingy, greedy politicians tried to swindle the boy for his kidney. He went for a younger donor because an older guy would have been drinking and smoking. Many of the killings that happen in society isn't because of money ritual, but for organ harvesting. Na street thing then run Ekweremadu. The boy intentionally said he was 15. He must have learned or told that once you are below 16 in the UK, you are regarded as a minor and you are protected. They can't even deport you if you enter illegally. I am sure the boy has watched UK Border Force Agency program where he learned about the loophole in the UK immigration system. So that is just a wild conspiracy theory. That's an imagination running wild. Wicked people, they took money. Now they want to take people's lives. So but if the boy consented to it as they said, how did this whole thing get to the public? I hope the UK take him in and not deport him to this shithole. So I think that's most likely to happen. That boy looks more than 15. I may be wrong though, but it is either the boy runs arms but it is either the boy run armed streets or hardship made him old. Either way, serves the senator right. If you had built and equipped hospitals in your state, this issue would have been solved within your state. So there it is right there. It's just some of the reactions then to to that. So let me bring you this as well, still within the Kuremado space. It looks as though Peter Obi has been speaking to it. Organ harvesting, Peter Obi breaks silence on Ikweremadu. Presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Peter Obi, has broken his silence on the travails of embattled former Deputy Senate President Ike Ikweremadu and his wife, Beatrice. The Ikweremadus were on Thursday remanded after appearing before a UK court on charges of bringing a child into the United Kingdom for organ harvesting. The police has said the investigation was launched after detectives were alerted to potential offenses, blah, 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 blah. Let's just look for what KANU has to say because we already know the black. Reacting in a tweet on Friday, not KANU but Obi, reacting in a tweet on Friday, Obi said, "My family and I are with the Ekweremadus over their travail. We join all men of goodwill in praying for the healing of their daughter and commit them into God's hands for justice to be done. So, quite what that means, I think Peter Obi should really be mindful of making commentaries about these sort of things because, yeah, they're accused of human trafficking, trying to harvest the organ of a minor, but your sympathy seems to be with them. So maybe you should just stay away from this sort of toxic sort of storyline. Reacting in a tweet on Friday, Obi said, "My family and I are with the Equirimadus over their travail. We join all men of goodwill in praying for the healing of their daughter and commit them into God's hands for justice to be done." So there it is, right there. I don't know what to say. That's somewhat of. So let me land finally on this. I'll only give you about 3 or 4 paragraphs on this because this is Femi Adesina in his usual long-winded manner. Separatist losers of 2015-19 elections were behind hashtag EndSARS protest, Buhari's aide Femi Adesina. Femi Adesina, the spokesman for President Muhammad Buhari, says the hashtag EndSARS protest signifies mayhem, mass destruction, and even cannibalism. Adesina disclosed this in an article titled Warning Shots from Kigali, which he shared on his official Facebook page. On Thursday, Nigerians had, in October 2020, protested against the now disbanded Special Anti-Robbery Squad SARS, a unit of Nigeria's police force. Set up in the mid-90s to combat armed robbery, SARS morphed into a force associated with harassment, extortion, human rights violation, and extrajudicial killings of suspects. Following additional pressure from human rights groups and local and global media, President Buhari dissolved SARS on October 11th, 2020. The protest hashtag EndSARS was later hijacked by hoodlums, leading to killings and destructions in the public. According to Adesina, the protest was hijacked by opposition parties and separatists to destabilize Nigeria, he said. On the sidelines of the 26th edition of the Commonwealth Heads of State meeting, holding in Kigali, Rwanda, President Muhammadu Buhari and his team Thursday morning visited the Kigali Genocidal Memorial, which is one of the monuments in memory of about 1 million people that were killed in the 1994 pogrom. I had written before that if Nigeria dies, it is hatred that killed her, and our pastors would not be innocent, nor the imams, and anyone that trades in hateful language against the government and other ethnic groups. Those things pile up continuously till it boils over and cascades into an entire country. The heinous crimes we see in the land today cannot be entirely divorced from hateful and incendiary speeches. The tour of the genocide memorial took the whole of 1 hour and 5 minutes. You start from a video account from survivors who recount the gory way in which fathers, mothers, siblings, children were slaughtered and how they were lucky to be alive. Sad, dolorous. And then we moved to so it's going to labor you through some tedious nonsense. Okay, so let me just see where he speaks about this guy is just an awful. Sorry. Okay. It's just this guy is just a terrible human being. So I'm just skimming through because he labels you through all the Rwandan situation, but I just want to see where he speaks about Nigeria, and then we just end it there. Just this idiot of a person. Let me just pick it up from this paragraph. If Nigeria dies, whether now or in the future, hatred killed her. How can a people go about bearing giant-sized grudges against their country, its leadership, against one another, and expect that country to live in peace and prosperity? It won't happen. When we don't know who to hate, we hate ourselves. The NSAS campaign began as an agitation against police brutality in which there was unanimity of purpose, and suddenly it became a vehicle of hate against leadership, against national cohesion, an opportunity to settle political scores, and equally prepare for power grab in 2023. Hatred came into the mix. The agitation by youths against injustice and oppression suddenly took uh, a variegate nature. Separatists came under the umbrella and began to advance their cause, working for the dismemberment of the country. Those beating Black and Blue in 2015 and 2019 elections also crept in and asked for pounds of flesh, whilst also plotting for a return to power in 2023. The venom which peaceful protest eventually became can only be summed up by one word: hatred. How can you begin to club people to death in different parts of the country? How can you set fire on national assets and institutions, storm prisons, and release prisoners into society, all in the name of peaceful protest? No, peace had fled through the window, and hatred was fully in control. So that is just the nonsense that Femi Adesina is dishing out, which is what he usually does, dish out nonsense. So let me come into the room then to see if there's anybody. Okay, so we do have people to take it on. So Adale Koko, I see you. Saki, Father, I see you. Vin from Ghana, I see you. And Ifeanyi, I see you. Yes, and Ifeanyi, I see you. So good to have you all, gentlemen. So let me kick it off with Ajanle Koko then. If you're ready, Ajanle Koko. If you're not, then I'll start with someone else. So Ajanle Koko, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Oh, all right, brilliant. Good to have you, Ajanle Koko. So now let's start then with this 1.85 billion naira in cash found in Tukur Bulutai's house and office in Abuja. I'm sure you are not surprised, but are you expecting any form of justice to follow this?
Well, first of all, let me urge our listeners around the world to please click on the like button, share, and subscribe if you have not done so. Look, one man, Seore, was the first person through his Faora reporter to inform Nigerians that this man has been using the money budgeted for purchase of arms for his own personal use. He informed us back then, I think 3 years backward, that this guy has been looting budgeted fund for arms and been looting it and taking it to his personal account in Dubai. And he went to an extent of showing all the pictures, video of how the houses and the information with regard to every asset that he owned in Dubai. And under the same administration, they did not take any action. No action was taken. EFCC did not take action. ICGC, or what did they call it? This one that went to his house to pick up
ICPC.
ICPC. They did not take action. So, and this is what this man did for several years. They continually looting all this money budgeted for arms, and he did it for several years. The president did not do anything. This man did not manage the defense of the country well. As the head of the defense of the country, he did not manage it well. We are losing the war against insurgency. The insurgency expanded from what we used to know, only Boko Haram, so they expanded to what do you call ISWAP, and then they transformed to what again
to headsmen and the rest of them.
banditry. All this thing was happening under this man, under the watch of this president. Military warfare, men were killed several places in Nigeria because they were not provided with the right arms. They were not well equipped. They were not well motivated. They were not well paid. They were old paid. And this is the same man that court-martialed some young soldiers that complained for arms. They asked for arms, for better equipment to fight the war. These guys, these young soldiers said they can defeat these guys, that what they needed, good equipment and military equipment to fight this war. That these insurgents, they are not as strong as they have been reported, that they can defeat them, but they don't have the modern arms to fight them. What did Buratai did? He court-martialed these guys, and they were sentenced to death. If not for Femi Falana jump into it to defend those guys, all those guys would have been wasted now. So this man has done serious havoc against this country. He's looting spree, the looting spree that this man perpetrated as the chief of army staff by looting, diverting funds meant for purchase of arms into his own personal account, was responsible for Nigerian failure, responsible for insecurity that it looked like we are incapable to solve now. So this man should not be, we should not spare this man. And since last week that they have searched his house and got all this money, what has the presidency done? What has the president done to him? Nothing. He's still the ambassador.
Yeah. We saw it with Ganduje. We saw it with Emefiele.
What has he done?
So it's not nothing now. It's not going to do anything.
What has he done? But this guy failed. Nigeria cried for him to be taken out, and the other service chief, the Buhari, retained them in position of authority. National Assembly called for their removal. Buhari let them be there for so long. And what the Buhari did after removing, he rewarded him. He rewarded him with ambassadorial position to the Republic of Benin. So it is just, I don't know what this government have brought or not. This administration of APC have brought havoc. They have brought pains. They have brought hardship. They have brought killings. They have brought the worst of the worst that you can imagine that can happen to any country, to that nation. And they have rendered that nation defenseless. They rendered that nation useless, economically useless. We are a defenseless country. Our people are not safe. Our people are, the economy is in tattered. People are struggling. This is just too much for that country. So what we are expecting now, the presidency should have picked up this guy, but he's still there as an ambassador. So
Ajanekoko, Dejade Nyoju was highlighting that it was this exact same crime that Buhari used as the excuse to lock Dasuki up for about 4 years without any prosecution or anything. So this exact same thing of
Yeah,
diverting
the same crime. Yes.
So now it'll be curious now to see how he positions now that his own son is involved.
Well, let's look out for. Let's see what he's going to do. But if this man, I mean, if Buhari will have done anything, this guy should have been taken out from that place since last week that they discovered large sum of money from his house. It should have been taken back to Nigeria, and that guy should have been in detention right now. But you see, when we see some of these people that are fighting for our country, that risk their life to stand on the street, I'm talking about Omoyele Sowore, that jump on the street, uses his platform, his media platform, to fight against these people, to expose these people. But what do? We don't do anything. We don't reward them with anything. People that have fought our country, fought for us, fought for our right. Most of the right that we're enjoying today, a lot of people fought for it. They went through pains. They went through maltreatment. They went through beating. They were put in jail for several times during their lifetime. People like Fela Adekunle Kuti of the blessed memory, Chief Gani Fawemi of the blessed memory, Femi Falana that is still alive. We thank God for his life. He's still alive. Omoyele Sowore. A lot of these people, Olisa Agbakoba, may God give him long life as well. All these Alawa Kabashonu of the blessed memory, what do you call it? Some Kuti of the blessed memory. These are the people that fought for us, all the rights that we're enjoying in Nigeria today. They went through pains, but do we reward them with good things? We never. So this is the problem with us as people. So now APC, they have brought out a looter, another looter for us. In the name of Tinubu, our people are jumping behind him. They want to reward looters again. Atiku on the other side, that one is looter as well. They are there. So Nigeria must wake up. They must know that vote for APC, vote for destruction of the country. They can't get it right. They destroy this country, and we must take this country out. We must take them out of the space. We must not use sentiment this time around, because if you vote for APC or Tinubu again to retain power for APC to be there, you cannot probe all this Buratai and all the rest of them that have destroyed this country. They can't probe them because they are friends. They are friends. They are the same party. They will cover them up, and we will continue to languish in suffering and pain. So Nigeria must wake up. They must see this, that these open corrupt practices that APC brought to us or perpetrated for several years, we must stand up against it. And the only way to stand up against it is to throw them out of power and then take up justice against them, put them through trial, let them live the rest of their life in jail, seize all their property, and confiscate all their property and use it for the betterment of common people that are suffering in that country. That is the only way out. So this kind of people, they must not be allowed, to live in our society. We must take action against them. And the only way to take action is to vote against APC. Let us arrest all of them that have perpetrated corruption, that have destroyed that country with their corrupt practices, and then use all their take over all their property, confiscate them, and then use them for the betterment of Nigerian people. That's my position on one.
All right.
One man.
Yeah.
You see, there is something I would like to chip in here concerning Dasuki and this former chief of army staff that is the ambassador, of Nigeria to Benin Republic. Do you know why the administration of Buhari has not taken it into consideration to see if they can Dasuki will secure bail? The answer is this. If you remember when,
Dasuki is already on bail, by the way.
of course, but they have never even given him the freedom. You see, the reason why he is being treated the way they are treating him right now is because of his role during the overthrow of Muhammadu Buhari. He was the director of what we call DMI, Director of Military Intelligence. He was the one that arrested Buhari during that time and treated him the way he said he treated him. That is the anger in this man not to do the needful when it comes to Dasuki. But for this guy, this Python snake dealer, he will not do anything to this guy. He will not. He will not, because they are bird of the same feather.
Burutai is the son of Buhari's long-standing friend, who was, in fact, he was his benefactor when Buhari was going through hard times. Burutai's
Exactly.
father.
Exactly.
So
He
that
cannot.
appointment was the appointment of Burutai was a reward for favors done to him by his old friend Burutai's father. So it's not
Sure.
going to do anything to him. We know that.
Sure.
All right. Thank you, Vin. So thank you, Vin, and thank you, Ajanleko, for reasons of time. Let me move the conversation on, and let me take it to Rational Mind. And Rational Mind, let me invite you to speak on the space of this Bloomberg report that when the campaign kicks off, you will hear many things from Tinubu and Atiku, but the one thing that you are guaranteed not to hear from them is any promise to fight corruption. And they are not able to make that promise, of course, because the very poster boys of corruption in Nigeria, they stand as a part of the lineup of 10 of the topmost. So they go on to chart the corruption allegations and activities of these people. They go to the $40 million that Atiku used his American wife to funnel into America, and the Halliburton deal that ended up jailing a congressman for 13 years. And they spoke about Tinubu's bullion van, who's saying that it can give people free money. It doesn't mean bribing. But it doesn't mean so they go through the plethora of their corrupt past to then land on the assertion that you hear a lot from them, but you can never hear a fight against corruption. So what are they then making of this choice that Nigerians are presented with? The devil and the deep blue sea.
Yeah, good morning, one man. Good morning, everybody. Yeah, I think we talked about this. Was it yesterday or the first day? Yeah. You see, I mean, there's not hardly anything that Bloomberg is saying that we do not know about. But the only thing they're reiterating is that this is the best we can do in that country called Nigeria. These are our best. I mean, we've been talking about transformation. We've been talking about economic empowerment. We've been talking about pulling people out of poverty. I mean, is this the kind of people that we're expecting to come and do this for us, who are so corrupt when they held office? So it's up to us. It's up to the Nigerians, the electorate, to know all this. That these people, they are questionable. They are people of questionable characters. I read people who said, I mean, they've not been convicted. Yes, they will never be convicted. We just read about, was it not Burutai? I mean, we never knew about this. I mean, weeks ago, it was how his home was raided. We're just hearing that for the first time. You know, how many covering up we know about? We don't have maybe so many covering ups, and so it tells you that Nigeria is an enterprise for some people. It's just there for them to make money, enrich themselves and their cronies. So they will always cover themselves.
You know, I don't know if you have this practice, rational mind, but a lot of people, they like to have a set amount of cash in the house just for emergency response. Maybe $1,000, maybe £1,000, etc., just for quick money for whatever. So this is 2 billion naira is what this guy has just lying around in his house, just for in case some little person comes and he wants to be. 2 billion naira. That's just for
No, no, no,
money in
woman.
the money in the house money.
I can understand what you're saying. I can understand that.
It's unbe. So that then, how much does it is it worth in total
Uh,
based on his salaries from
that is
army?
it. That's the question. But
Is
when
is
you
been
ask him,
is in paid employment throughout all of his working life.
it's not the one. I mean, does even Nigerian president even make up to that in the 4 years that they even is in the office? He total all his money for 4 years. I mean, that's to tell you that he has been involved in graft, corruption. This is the same man, who says he sells a python. How can you sell a python? I mean, I have a friend who goes to Africa and brings in a python from Benin Republic and some other parts of West Africa, and he has one of the largest pet shop in Florida. What talking about? I mean, he's a millionaire, but not a billionaire, I would say. But he's been doing it for many years, and imagine. So the point I'm trying to make is this: that Brutai saying that he made his money from selling pythons. I don't know. That's insane. So for me, it's to tell you that he has been involved in. But the thing is, why are we just hearing that now? I mean, why was it not hot? Why was it not breaking news back then? I mean, there must have been some kind of cover up. So you see, the thing is, what I'm trying to say is that we Nigerians, who are the people who are going to vote in this election, we didn't consider this because you hear on this platform here and some other platform, people who are Nigerians, educated Nigerians like you and I, and they will be championing these people. They'll be championing.
He bought the nomination from Burutai.
Mhm.
That's
Yeah, I
probably
heard about that too.
the point one that he took from the 2 billion because it was just under 2 billion. So he
Yeah.
just took some cash quickly from God.
You're one man, like you said. I mean, I keep cash at home, but don't go up to that kind of amount of money. I don't have that amount of money to put in my hand. I mean, the thing is, they know that they put that money in the bank account, it can be traced. Yeah, so like even Oju Yobo to does that. But what I know Oju Yobo does is that, like I was made to understand, is it converts all his money into dollars, so as to shrink the
The size of it,
the
the
size of
bulk.
it. Yeah, that's what I understand. So a lot of them do a lot of these things. They keep money. They know they can't keep it in the bank because they might be traced, and so they keep it in their homes because, well, I mean, why keep money in the home when there's a bank there for you? That is one of part of the what I'm trying to tell you, that if one of those people who are really corrupt, when they keep huge amount of money like that in their house, in their homes, is to tell you that they don't want them to be traced, because they know when they have that kind of money in their bank account, it becomes a matter of public knowledge of some sort, because any agency can go investigate and say they want to get into this person's account and know what is going on in his account. So the point is this: you see, one man. For me, what Bloomberg has just reported is not new to us. It's something we have all known. Most of us who read newspaper, who are politically enlightened. But now the question is, are Nigerians going to see this for what it is in making an informed decision as to who to vote for? I mean, if we have people like this, are we sure, like the Bloomberg article says, are we sure that these people are going to bring that transformation in that country?
It's pretty certain that we're going to end up with somebody like that as the president of
Well, it's looking
Nigeria,
like it.
because that's what the field is presenting.
Yeah.
So unless something happens and we end up with somebody like Showore, which is highly unlikely,
Very unlikely. Or even
then the
Peter Obi.
the likelihood is that we end up with either one of these two people.
Yeah.
So that's just another atheist there.
You see, the thing is this. Sometimes, anytime I hear this guy, Ekiti State Governor, what's his name, Fayemi,
Fire, yeah.
with all his grammar and elitist kind of talk. I mean, he talks about June 12, we fought for this, blah, blah, blah. But is this what you people fought for? Is this the struggle people fought for? To come and supervise over corruption in a massive scale. I mean, look at what happened in Ekiti State. So that tells you that these people, they just tell us stories of how they once was they were once democracy people who promoted democracy, who fought for democracy, and blah blah blah. And then look how when they get there, look at what they became. They became our lord and our masters, and they lorded over us, and then they just.
What do you make of the assertion, rational mind, that the Nigerian space ultimately corrupts you, no matter how well intentioned you are? You cannot go in. The system will change you rather than you change the system. Because if you look at people like Comrades or Shiomole, Fayemi that you are describing now, Ifashola, all of these names that you think they were Spartan, upstanding people, They are now as corrupt as any has ever been. So
Yeah.
the system is not good. You're not going to change the system in Nigeria. The system will change you.
Yeah, that is why, you see, on one, I used to say to your platform, I says sometimes maybe I should do a little bit of evil so as to accomplish some good. But I think I kind of understand why the guy is just so resolute, not wanting to work with any of those people, because in one of his recent interviews or TV, whatever he says he will never work with Obi, and he gave reasons.
What
Initially I was
reason?
like,
What
no,
reasons did they give? Can
he
you
said
remember?
because they were part of the ROT, it's part of PDP. But another thing I was thinking again is if that thing was correct. But what he said again, there was another post he had on Facebook. He said, sorry, on Google, on YouTube, which he says Peter should come and join AAC. But then I was like, why are you conflicting yourself? You said one place Peter should come and Peter should be the one to come and join your AAC. So if Peter joins AAC, is it not from the old guards? And joining your AAC, is it not going to be another corruption? And now again, you're saying that you don't want to work with it, but I just want to take his word for what he said, the line, the recent one, where he said he can't work with Peter Obi, and he gave his reason. So, like, I mean, this is the reason why we're talking about it, because they will corrupt you. They will corrupt you.
That was why I said unless we end up with somebody like Showore, you were adding Peter Obi to that list, but I wasn't, because I cannot really distinguish Peter Obi from the reports of Bloomberg on Tinubu or Atiku. He equally complicit in the rot. He was Atiku's running mate. The person
Yeah,
that
yeah.
international magazine is telling us is too corrupt to be. He should be in jail rather than be anywhere else. He was his running mate just 4 years ago. So how can he now be this? So that was why I left him off. And if we don't elect somebody like Showore, then really we are not really moving forward in any way.
But one man being a running mate doesn't put him in a position of
He's equally
accountability.
as complicit, my brother. He's equally as
No,
complicit.
no,
Don't worry
I don't
about
have
that.
like no, but your citizen doesn't have a right against another citizen who is not being convicted. Don't get that twisted. Somebody's not been convicted. Who are you?
Somebody has not been convicted. Tinubu has not been convicted. Babangida has not been convicted. As Atiku, nobody has who has been convicted.
That is it.
Yeah, but no. Those ones were even in Tinubu's case was even in an international case. Toronto, forget about the Toronto.
Was he
saga.
convicted? Was
The
he
same-
convicted?
He was not convicted, but he
Ah,
was.
so-
He
so,
ran. He didn't go to court. He didn't go to court.
Right. So nobody
It's
has
a
been
fugitive.
convicted.
It's like a
Now, if
fugitive.
you are saying nobody
The
has
same
been,
thing with the
it's
same
not
thing
a
with Atiku.
fugitive.
If
He walks
Atiku
freely.
One man,
yeah, but he cannot go. He cannot go
right?
to Canada. The same thing with Atiku. He cannot go to
Canada.
the US. But
I
Obi
don't
is
know.
free.
He
He can
was
go
in
anywhere.
invest- he was
One man. Can I put a
invested-
question to this guy? Let me
Yeah,
put
go
a
on.
question to you.
X0.
X0, okay. X0, a while ago we're criticizing this vice president of Nigeria, what's his name? Yemi Osinbajo. There's no way he can wash himself off of what Buhari has done. Now, your question now, what you're saying now that we can, because it was Obi was, we cannot say he's responsible or is, whatever. So, are we have to also to exonerate Osinbajo? Can we
You are using the wrong analogy because he has not crossed that route. He has not. Let me tell you, he has not crossed that Rubicon. If he had served under Atiku and there was corruption, massive corruption, and he didn't resign, then we'll face that. But he has not crossed that. He has not crossed that Rubicon. He was a governor.
Well, I can agree with you.
And that is the only yardstick. Yeah, that's the yardstick we are using.
Yeah.
Whether Atiku was a criminal or not, it wasn't in his place to judge him.
But if he had
court in Nigeria,
but hold on.
since the court in Nigeria has not found Atiku guilty,
I get you. We understand, and that is what we're saying here. But if he had won that election and he had been his deputy, would we not? Would we not also be?
Yes, rational mind. We will. Yes, we will. We will accuse him.
We can't say so.
Yes, but he has not crossed, and we
cannot say so
don't
because he has not been there.
Wait, I get that point.
And don't forget. Let me give you a point so that you understand fully, clearly how.
I understand. You don't need to go into details. I understand what you're saying, but I'm just saying that.
Okay.
People should be fair based on the association. You know, if you
but don't forget also rational mind. The man we celebrate so well. The man we celebrate so well in the whole wide world. His name is Alfred Nobel. Nobody loved that man until he later changed his life and became the one that they are celebrating today because of the awards. If Atiku had come into power at that time and changed Nigeria, and everybody, there was power, there's light, there's food, there's everything, and the country was working, I bet you, even if the court finds him guilty, you in your heart will be satisfied that this guy did something. Don't forget we are human. You understand? If Buhari had done a lot good for Nigeria, we would have been like, okay, at least this guy changed Nigeria. You understand? But he did so much wrong, even with the lives of people. And Osibanjo stood firm, didn't say nothing. Tinubu stood firm, even when they were killing his people in the southwest, didn't say nothing. You understand why people are annoyed? People are angry at these guys. Really, really angry. Because it has not affected our families doesn't mean we can just
exempt Peter Obi from the rot, though. He was he was a PDP member for years and years. He's been I think he's actually started this political journey, PDP, APGA, PDP, now Labour. So he is part of the rot, so we cannot exclude him.
Yeah. Find his crime and bring it out.
One man, that is wrong. That is wrong assertion. You see, he was in the public sector, heading 3 banks as CEO when he was called upon to come and stand as a governor. He was not with them. It was when he was called to come in, that was the time he came in.
He didn't run an election to be governor.
Of course, but he was called. If you listen to his...
Oh, God. He was what?
Okay, tell me. Before he became the governor... Listen, I'm coming. Is that What is? Can you tell me where P2B was working before he was elected as the governor?
Everybody had a past now. Tinubu was working as...
He was not in any political party
before he joined politics. So what are you talking about?
He was not in any political party. That is what I'm saying.
It was a private citizen and they just appointed him to be governor. Is that what you're saying?
You remember when there was a time when one of the political heavyweight in Anambra was the person that asked the people to go and look for him. Number 1, P2B, number 2, P2B, number 3, P2B. They should go and look for him and bring him. That was how he came into the limelight of politics in Nigeria.
Did he run for politics? Did he run for elective office?
He ran for elective office when he was called to come in. He was never doing partisan politics before he was called upon to run.
No. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Who gave you that information?
Ajali Koko. Was P2B in any political limelight before he became the governor of Anambra State?
He ran for the robbing at the primary, and he went to court. He's the one that so called after robbing him of his.
After he was elected. My question is this: let's start from from the beginning of all these things. Where was he working before he was, elected?
Where he's working, everybody works somewhere else. But what I'm saying is that he's a politician.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, he contested the primary.
Go on, Ajale Koko. Have we lost you, Ajale Koko? I'm not quite sure what
Tinubu was
and took that court case all the way through to Supreme Court.
Everybody
and the Supreme Court gave him victory. And immediately after they declare him as winner of the this thing, that was when they called him to come and take over the position of governor of yes, I agree with you. He was working with Fidelity Bank as I was the chairman of Fidelity Bank during that time. And he went to pick up his position. So saying that he did not participate, no, he was part of the game.
That is no. You see, that is not what I said. I said he was not in the Nigerian political limelight before he became the governor of Anambra State. When he was nominated, remember it was a consensus. It was a consensus that brought him in.
Not limelight because he's a low-headed guy, but he was a politician, he was a registered politician, and he contested for governorship position before he was robbed of his victory.
Can I say something? It seems like we all like our criminals differently. every tribe has its own criminal.
That is it. Yes.
Every one of us knows our criminal differently. Well, I'm not saying Obi is a criminal. Don't get me wrong. He himself said
No,
it.
so what are you saying? What are you saying? If you
Hold
don't
on.
mean Obi is a criminal.
I quote Obi. He says, "I'm not a saint." Oh.
He says a thief. He says he's a thief, not a criminal.
What did you say? What did you say?
He says
So Obi is not a criminal. What is he
he's
now?
not a criminal. He's a thief.
Go on, rational mind. Rational mind, line. Carry on, rational mind. Yeah, go.
Well, he said, "I'm not a saint." I quote him. That's what he said when he was having an interview on Arise. I'm not saying Obi is a saint. That's what he said. What does he mean by that? I don't know. Even Showore himself said that too. He doesn't think. He's not saying that he's a saint. Maybe he has so many kids around. I'm sure that's what he said. So all of them, but they have some kind of stains or past or dark. But Obi, for me, I've always said on this one man's platform, is that is the lesser of the three evils, the three big evils, or let's say the four evils that I know of, which is I include Kwankwaso. So really. The Pandora paper only said he invested and he never declared his. That's just my own take. But one man has always tried to make me see that while he was even in office, he committed that infraction. He did not declare it. So possibly, who knows? But the thing is, if the state has any evidence of he having looted the money while he was in office and he never declared it, and he took that money into his account, his own personal account, then they're prosecuted for that. But I've not seen anything like that. And I trust the FCC, they would have dug into his past, knowing that he's a rival. So for me, I would view him as the viable as the one I would say people should vote for. My preference would have been Showore, but Showore is on a decline. For me, people are not warming up to him. I go by what people, the masses, what they see as a viable person. So that's why I say Obi. I'm not saying Obi is a saint. I'm not saying I don't know much about his what he has done, apart from what is in the public domain. And those things that are in the public domain are not something that we can really hold on to as evidence of he being corrupt, kind of. And if he was a chairman of a Fidelity Bank, and we know of Erastus Akinkola of the defunct Intercontinental Bank, how he was, how they yaya that guy, how he was accused of corruption, and how he built himself. So if Obi was really that kind of a person, I think it should be. The Pandora paper just only said he moved money into some kind of tax haven countries whereby they protect
money laundering haven.
It could be. You see, you can't call it if it's a money laundering. I'm sure
corrupt politicians. We can read it again. We've read it several times.
What man? I not. What you can say money laundering, but if it's a money laundering, well,
that's what they said. Now that's what the report said. It's not me saying it.
No, they said that place is known for money laundering.
Yeah,
that's what they said.
Yeah.
So some people can still move their money there legally.
So you move me into a money laundering.
No. Even there are big even Americans here who have money stashed abroad. I mean, they can do it. They can move money. Can move billions of dollars as long as you have.
What sort of money would you? What sort of money do people move via money laundering portal?
No. Don't. Let's get it straight.
It's corrupt.
It can be your money, but when
it's corrupt money, you move your money, corrupt money through crime syndicates.
No, it can be your money, but you are moving it to a particular place to save. That is why they charge them for tax evasion. It can be your money because you have refused to pay a tax on that money in that country that you are moving it. That is that's that.
The real reason why they move those money.
Hold on. Yeah. The other thing is the company that he used is he hid his identity under a proxy name. So he used a proxy to register the company in order to hide his identity. Why?
Let me explain to you. Let me explain to you for my own little understanding. You talk, please. You see, the reason why people move these monies to another country is because of their tax regulations. There are some countries that encourage you to invest in them, and you pay as little as 1% or no tax at all.
Why was he hiding his
identity? No. Sometimes people do these things, even if it's their legally earned money, just to keep their money safe and without tax. if I've worked hard for my
in a
money,
money laundering
and then I want to keep it somewhere where it will be taxed. That's why you ask.
Xero, listen
So we should charge him for tax evasion, right? Is that what you are saying?
It's not tax evasion. If I work hard and I've already paid tax, why would I go and
Xero,
pay
I want to ask
place
you
where
a question.
it's required
No,
tax?
I understand double taxation, but Xero, listen to this. Whilst he was governor, this wasn't when he was a private citizen. Whilst he was governor, he set up a company under his daughter's name, using his daughter's name, not under his daughter's name. But he used a proxy, somebody that I didn't even know, just some random name as the owners of that company, and that company was set up in a money laundering haven, a place that is known internationally that is where corrupt politicians used to launder their money. So he set up a shadow company under a proxy name in a money laundering haven whilst he was governor. And you are saying this is all clean and dandy.
What he said is his own mouth. What he said is his own mouth is what I'm telling you. That he said this is a company that's been run by his own family. Yeah, that's why I say the court just come out with their papers complete and then take this guy to court.
It's a corrupt politician.
Don't worry about Let them take him to court with this. You can't just say people are corrupt like that.
It's the evidence that.
Yes, but what he said with his mouth is that this is a family company they've had for a long time before he even became governor. That's what he said.
Do you expect him to say something to indict himself? What do you expect him to say?
No. That is his own statement, and that's why we hold him for until the court proves otherwise.
Look at that.
You have to have facts before you now criminalize people.
Atiku, Abi. The rules are different for Atiku.
The asset you own.
Please hold on, guys.
Don't do this, please. You must.
The reason why we say Atiku is corrupt is that the company in Halliburton mentioned Atiku, and the senator in America is currently in prison. The same thing with
Atiku is not in prison. Atiku is not in prison.
Atiku is not in prison. The senator in America who was part of the deal, the Halliburton deal, is now in prison already for 17 years.
So guilty by association. Guilty by
no,
association.
we are not saying Atiku is guilty. What we are saying is where this case came from, they are still looking for Atiku.
So Xero, he must not declare his assets that he owned with his wife. Is that what you are saying? When the law asked him to declare all his assets, why didn't he declare that one? Don't let us defend somebody that have done wrong because it's our because it's one of our own.
Change when it comes to people.
He has done wrong. That is just
okay,
it.
you have said it. Let me finish.
Hold on. Let him land.
Let me finish. See, let Atiku go to the United States and clear his name. Let Tinubu go to Canada and clear his name. Just like Onanese Bori.
His name is not on that question. If his name is his name on that question, then did the Americans tell you that his name is on that question?
I didn't even say Atiku was corrupt, but the paper said it, and I said let them find him guilty first. All these people will be fine. Let the court prove otherwise.
The papers also say Obi is corrupt.
Yeah, let them prove it. If they prove it, they can take him to court.
So if they don't have the same way, they are damned the same. So they fall in the same bracket.
If their facts are correct, Obi will be in court now. That's what I'm telling you. If their facts are correct, Obi will be in court. That's what I'm saying.
Atiku is not in court.
Atiku said something. He did not declare. They gave it because as a governor, you are required to declare your assets, and that was what I think was it Sadus Hosseini, this guy from Arise, asked him. He posed that question to him. He says, "Look, the Pandora paper, what that paper said that you had this so and so. Well, it's like you did not declare this." He said, "Well, he wasn't aware that he has to declare it." Mm-hmm. You get it? That was that's the only infraction that I think Obi has. That's for me, and for that I won't hold him as such because he did not declare it. And that was why I think EFCC invited
rational mind. So hold on. Rational mind. Let me tell you exactly what he said.
Okay,
he said because that asset was jointly owned by him and her daughter, and because of that reason, Because he didn't solely own it. That's why he didn't declare it.
He resigned.
That's a lie. That's a lie right there. That's a lie. Whether is jointly owned or your asset is an asset.
Making up his own laws.
Yeah, he's speaking his own law. No, look, when these leaders done wrong, let us call them to order that you are a liar. Don't let us support any one of these people because it's one of our own. This is what we've been doing in that country and destroyed that country.
Exactly.
I mean, let us just stop it, man. It's wrong.
I get you. You see, Angelico, for me, you see, I will not come here and promote somebody like as if I'm dumb and I have no mind of my own. I'm not like that. That's one thing I see about some of our brothers from the East. Some of them, the way they just when they go on
that's a very wicked indictment. You know that.
Hold on.
That's a very wicked indictment.
Sorry, you have to take that back. That's too broad a statement. Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Let me take it back. Especially the IPOP wing, some IPOP wing. When they go on this narrative of one thing, there's a way they spin it around. I mean, that also equally applies to some of our people from the West. I mean, from the western part of Nigeria too, Yoruba clans. But what I'm trying to say is this: that some of us, we seem to love our corrupt leaders differently, and some of us are really ready to die. But for me, you see, I'm a balanced person when it comes to how I view personalities. I don't worship personalities. I worship. I mean, let me say worship. I give consideration to the ideas, the antecedents, and I look at all this and I weigh them to make my decision. Some of us will just champion our these people like as if they are just clean. No, let us stop all these things. OB is not. I'm not saying there's. I mean, as far as I know, the only infraction, like I said, is that not having declared those things on that form, and whatever reason he gave to me is not a reason. But is he corrupt? Has he stolen money? I've never had anything like that. So for me, among the three people that I know that are major candidates in this election, I think he should be given more consideration going by what he has done in Anambra State. Can he replicate it? Well, let's see. Let's give him that opportunity. Let him replicate that on a national scale. But Atiku and Tinubu, these people are very, very corrupt people. Just look at what is going on in Lagos State. With Atiku has contracts with the government. When he was there, his company was having a contract with MPA, Nigerian Port Authority. So, and some other parastatals too. He has government contracts coming for his company. That is a conflict of interest. While he was in office, he was having contracts. So the point is this: these are the people we don't want. Look at Tinubu. You know, even though he's gone, he still has. Even when he was there.
But did Atiku set up that company when he started when he was in office?
Well, that is debatable. I don't know, but what I'm saying is.
Hold on, rational mind. As long as he resigned, he's not running day to day of that operation, and that company is legally. Hold on.
It needs to divest.
That company. Hold on.
No. Why should they have to divest?
No,
Hold on. That company is legally registered company in Nigeria, and as such, they can run business in Nigeria. The vice president owning, he quit. He wasn't running it while in office. Another person is running it. That is what the law specifies. So how did he? Hold on.
Why do you draw the line?
That company has been running before he joined the government. So how did he violate the law when the company has been there and they have the legal right to run in Nigeria? Now, and it's not running as a vice president. How do you say he violated the law?
All right, let me add this to it. Rational mind. Did Donald Trump, did he sell all his companies when he became American?
That's another problem. Yeah, I wanted to bring that earlier. You see,
okay.
Hold on. He did not. In fact, one of his hotel, you will see people go there. People were, so you see, I understand all this politics. I understand what you're saying, but in a real, I mean, this guy tipped America into insanity when he was there. People knew that this guy, the guy did so many things that no American government in the history of this country has ever done, and they've tried so many. Even currently, right now, all this whatever fact finding thing they are finding about him, that will not even. I don't think that will even send him to jail. But this is a guy that they tried to impeach twice, and he never succeeded. I mean, they succeeded, but they never removed him from office. So the point I'm trying to make is this: you see, and this is the guy who came in and then he was, I mean, showing to the public a huge stack of papers saying that was his tax papers. I mean, and these were all fraud and fraudulent papers, empty papers. You know, that in itself is another indictment. So what I'm trying to say is this: it's a conflict of interest. Because I give you an example. That Bloomberg, he says that while he was in office, he collected money from Al-Button, millions of dollars, just for a contract. Siemens too is there too. So you using your office, you can use his office, guys. You can use your office to get contracts for like this guy that was there. What's his name? Former AGF. I mean, former Secretary to the Federal Government, Bachi Lawa, that was removed. Am I correct? The guy that was removed.
Yeah, but
he said even this AGF that was removed that is indicted recently too. He used his own company to be getting contracts. That's a conflict of interest. Babachi Lawa, in one of his interview, he said that, well, I've already removed myself from the office, from the company, but the company was being given contract under your own ministry, under your own agency. So what I'm trying to say is this: that in itself is a conflict of interest because of your stature. I mean your status rather, as the vice president who owns a company. Your company can lobby for contracts, and they will get it because whoever is there, the palm sec of that department. Oh, now company does give him that contract. That is a conflict of interest. Morally, it is wrong. But we say, well, like Ojaniko said, they are duly registered in Nigeria. They can vie for contract because they are duly registered. They pay taxes. Yes, but in a sense, it violates moral ethics, or if it violates some kind of ethics. That's my point I'm trying to make. But we can champion it as good, as right. Yeah, but then for me, that's how I see it. You can use your office in a sense, like I'll give you an example of Babachi Lawa.
Moral ethics or the law? Which one are you talking about?
Law should be
moral ethics. Moral or the law?
Listen. Laws are based on morals and ethics, right? It should be based on that. So the point is, this way of people being in office.
Rational mind, what's your point?
My point is this. I'm saying that Atiku is corrupt. He's corrupt.
So as Obi is corrupt too.
Well, if you have a proof to that, show it to me. Besides what I just said.
He hid money in a.
Oh no, let's not go through it. We've just done all that. But I learned that.
I know. I'm just saying that.
I just need to take my leave right now. I'll join you guys later. I just have to go.
You have to dash.
One man, give me the floor for once now. I don't have the floor for.
Yeah,
go on. Let me put thank you, Rational Mind. Let me put a position to you then as you take the floor. X0. So let's take you to the NNAMDI KANU space, which used to be our daily diet once upon a time, but now a forgotten man somewhat, but certainly not forgotten by Buhari. Buhari then in a conversation with Boris Johnson, who was saying, release my citizen to me, he told Boris Johnson that you can whistle in the wind, this guy is going to rot in jail. So Buhari then, he's sticking down to it that NNAMDI KANU must spend the rest of his life in jail. What are you making of that, X0?
That's like, I'm on camera now, so I have to give my president due respect. But I don't stand with Buhari on that. As a citizen, as a proper citizen, I have to tell him what I feel. And what I feel is this, that President Buhari, with all due respect, you have more cases to answer than NNAMDI KANU. You have more cases to answer in the International Court of Justice than the man you have locked up without giving him fair trial. You picked him from a different country. You rendered him to Nigeria. How you did that is still questionable. You locked him up, and from all we get, it's just maltreatment for the guy. The law court has been
Maltreatment.
Children,
KANU is getting fatter. Have you not noticed that it's getting fatter every time we see it?
please, one man, let me just
They
hold the floor.
pizza. They give him pizza in prison.
Apart from that, the previous time when the man was on court, your army went to his house to kill a lot of people, and he escaped with his life. That in itself is a crime. So you have a lot to answer. A lot of people are dying left, right, and center in that country, but you go for people you feel they are the low-hanging fruits that are going to disturb your administration because they are doing something that they, if you look at the international convention, they have not done anything wrong. Every man has right to self-determination. If they want to go, they were doing this peacefully before your army started to shoot them down, started taking their dead bodies. They were doing it peacefully. They were going home to home to converse with their people on reasons why they should separate. Must Nigeria be one? In the UK, the Scots, they've been trying to separate themselves from the UK. If you don't know, you have to know it. So you can't just come in like a military man, pick everybody, hide them here and there, take people's lives, allow people's lives to be wasted. Your government has killed much more Nigerians than I think even is now competing with the Biafran war. And you have the guts, the authority to say, under who are you representing? You don't represent me well as a citizen. You, BUHARI, you don't represent me.
Is it not a law and order issue, though? The kind of
what is law and tell me what is law and order issue with?
Well, laws were infracted and justice now being applied. Okay,
let me ask you one man. There's a man called Igboho. He won a particular case against the federal government, and they've allotted. They said he should be given 2 billion or something like that.
Yeah, but Igboho is a different narrative now. Igboho
I'm coming.
It was agitating for free Yoruba nation, but
okay, good.
NNAMDI Kanu was a militant.
Okay, good. I'll give you a safer analogy. So himself, didn't we all witness him being denigerianized?
Yeah, but to raise a vandal now, it was defacing national assets. Was it not a vandal?
Is a vandal?
Yeah, was it not vandalizing public assets? And was it not asking for people to rage against an elected government? Well, it was calling for
and what is wrong? What is wrong with people protesting against the government?
It was calling for a revolution. You know what that means?
Well, let me just tell you what I think.
Taking it to the streets.
One man, tell us the meaning of revolution.
Let me
tell us the meaning of revolution.
Yeah, we all know what revolution means.
Can I come in, please?
Hold on, let
Zero, you see your one man is
yeah, I see what he's doing because he's trying to. Anyway, he's running the platform and he's gaining more traction.
He's trying to push you.
Yeah, I know. This is the way he gains traction because more people are coming here to argue. You'll be getting new entrants. But what I'm saying, the long and short of it is...
a revolution, a forcible overthrow of a government or social order in favor of a new one. A forcible overthrow.
Was Showore in that aspect?
Well, yeah, it was calling for a violent revolution, but back
violence. When you talking of violence,
when you talk of fraud,
did you carry arms?
And
it was on the streets with an angry mob. They were gathering pace. They were gathering pace, and they were defacing public assets.
One man, let me just say, you know what you are doing? Just because you are getting pretty in the UK doesn't mean you should sit on the lives of Nigerians and then talk so casually about their affairs.
Settle down.
No, you're sitting.
One man, I beg you.
You know that's your money you have in Pandora. What's it called? You are trying to invest in Nigeria. If Nigeria doesn't get better, your money will still remain there.
Esiro.
Yes.
Esiro. Didn't you when one man was reading out the talking points? Didn't you hear him afraid of helicopter?
So one man, please. When we speak these things, I speak from the heart. Because I myself have invested in that country, and about 40 million naira 40 went down the drain. I don't know who's going to pay me back that money. Who am I going to talk to? The government seems to not care. Bandits everywhere. And he's telling me NNAMDI Kanu is NNAMDI Kanu the cause of the bandits? Bandits kidnapping people right in Katsina. In Katsina.
Is it the government? Is it the government that took your money, or it was poor management?
What are you saying? What is poor management? Who is the poor management? It is the government that is lackadaisical and that is
you said 40 million down the drain. Let me come in, brother.
Yes.
Your 40 million naira cannot just come down the drain.
You don't know the story. Let one man tell you that story, please. Yeah. You don't know the story. You can't just because we've dealt with that story here before.
In a very large farm in Yoruba land, I think it was in Oyo State, and incessantly the bandits were just attacking his workers, slashing them with knives, etc. To the point that the farm has to be abandoned. He doesn't even know if he owns the land anymore. The crops are gone. All of the investment just down the drain. So that's what he's talking about. But back to your Xero.
No, so when I speak about the things that happen in that country, I speak of it because I am involved. My sweat has gone down the drain. I was almost going to die there because just after 2 months after I decided I'm not coming back home, I was going back home regularly to see this thing. 2 months afterwards, the US came with their security report that the Al-Qaeda was coming through that same axis. That was why I gave up. I said, I'm not doing this business anymore. I left everything. I'm not going to go into go with the bandits into the forest. Who's going to come and bail me out? Yeah, that will be another 100 million to go.
One man went to move. One man went to move platform.
That is insecurity.
Don't worry, we'll be talking about you here. We will raise for GoFundMe.
For you.
Anyway, don't be afraid. Go back. Go back.
Yeah.
So one man, you can see that the place is not even safe for you. So when we are dealing with these issues, we deal with it point blankly, and we point the accusing finger to the number one citizen, who is Buhari. So Buhari, you have more cases to answer.
But that's deflecting somewhat, though. You are deflecting, Xero.
I'm not.
But no, let me say why you are deflecting. Because the topic of discussion is NNAMDI Kanu, not Buhari. We already know who Buhari is. But NNAMDI Kanu stands accused. And I'm saying to you that it's a law and order, crime and punishment narrative, nothing else.
No,
because
NNAMDI
Kanu, he does have fairly provable serious crimes allegations against him. So why should he not then face the wrath of the law?
No. See, I'll give you 2 instances now, and you conclude for yourself. Number one is I normally refer to Commodore Akinwumi, what's his name?
Yeah,
Akinwumi. Yeah. And he said, from what he said, you can decipher who this man was talking about. He said, this particular senior officer that was interrogated by him was found culprit of being involved. In fact, being the number one, the patron of the terrorists. Then I started to search my mind around that is a senior officer that is currently in this government. I began to search throughout this government. Who is the senior officer? And I couldn't pinpoint more than 2 people who were in the military and are still serving in this government. I'm not trying to point fingers, but I see General Buhari is one officer that is in this government. Who is the second officer? Who is the second officer? A senior officer, he said. So who is the second senior officer that is in this government? So when we are concerned about things and speak from our heart, I've lost money and I have lost, a lot in that country. So I speak from my heart. That is one instance. Number 2 instance is the pulse of the country was against division. Like I spoke here 2 days ago, that we should, or was it yesterday? I said we should fashion out a different approach to the problems of Nigeria, so that people in the different regions who are feeling that they're going to be left out or they're going to be cut out of the national cake will feel relaxed and have allowed for proper governance so that the people who are square pegs will be put in square holes. Because as it is now, people are scared that if they leave government and somebody from the south takes government, they will lose out. Their people will lose out. But if you dedicate all the resources of the country, no matter where it's coming from, to education, healthcare, children welfare, women welfare, transport, and everything for the proper, infrastructure, and everybody, no matter where you come from in that country, you are eligible. Then at least the temperature of the country will douse down a bit. Because it is because they think that NNAMDI KANU will finally convince enough people to bring down the country. That is why they are locking him up. Yes, in a way, they have a point. But then, what was the root cause for this agitation? Has this government tried in any way to sort the root cause of this administration? No. Now, what they do is invest in arms and ammunition. That is a wrong approach. If I don't have food, no matter what arms and ammunition you bring, I will find a way to eat. That's why there are criminals everywhere. The Fulani cattle, let me just not use that word Fulani. The cattle rearers that are kidnapping people, left, right, and center, have seen good money. You understand me? They've seen good money now, and they have left the cattle rearing for the good money of kidnapping. If they had a good life, and if the government was present, shows presence. What I mean presence is all those ungoverned area, you show your presence. How do you show your presence? From mapping out the roads, you will map out the forest. From mapping out the forest, you will map out the security outposts. From mapping out those security outposts, and you put the internet on the ground. With the internet and the satellite, you'll be able to monitor your country. We have the money. Why haven't we done that? Because the people in leadership are blind. They are blind. We are paying much more money to people in National House of Assemblies, governors and their entourage, and their retirement pensions. Why we should be investing those monies on infrastructure that's going to later now come back to safeguard the country? If we have satellites up there and we have fiber optics down there, how will we not be able to see what is happening everywhere in those ungoverned spaces? There's what we call infrared lights, with which you can penetrate through a forest, and you see through the blood vessels, you will see what is in the forest. You will see movement through the heat of the body. You'll be able to detect how many people are in so places. You don't need people with guns to go there. But because we have failed to invest in that, and you ate the money that was meant for the cameras everywhere, man, I don't want to be talking because I have so many ideas and so many things that I've seen here that we have not just done because these guys are simply put, they are corrupt. So I point that finger that Buhari is pointing to NNAMDI KANU, I point it back to him. I find it difficult to doubt that he's not complicit in the entire equation of the problems in Nigeria. I'm pointing the finger back to him.
Oh, all right, brilliant.
Saying this on camera. Yeah.
Why do you keep saying you are saying this on camera? Are you afraid?
Yeah, because no. See, I have invested. No. I'm not afraid because I've invested and I've lost. You see, if you have not lost something in a country or in a particular journey, you will be careful about what you say. But if you have put your legs and your legs have gotten deep into it and you have lost, the fear runs out of you. You begin to speak with reality. The reality is, if there are if people like me and a lot of other people don't come out, we will experience the darkest times in our history. They are yet to come. If we don't do it now, if we don't fight, either we bring out a Peter Obi or a Sowore to at least bring us back to sanity, and then we start to rise from there.
Do you think human beings?
Hold on, Joseph, please. All right. Thank you, Xero. So let me come to you, Joseph. But Joseph, you can make that comment, but let me also lead you in this direction after your comment. Peter Obi has come out to make his opinions known on the Ekweremadu situation, and he's saying that his thoughts and prayers are. Let me actually get his quotation right, because I was somewhat befuddled by what he had to say, and even if he needed to say that. So this is what Peter Obi says. It says, reacting in a tweet on Friday, Obi said, My family and I are with the Ekweremadus over their travails. We join all men of goodwill in praying for the healing of their daughter and commit them into God's hand for justice to be done. So this is what they say now, somewhat backing the Ekweremadus, who have somewhat trafficked a minor to the United Kingdom in order to harvest that minor's organs. So should Peter Obi be backing Ekweremadu, given what the allegations are? So that and the comment you were about to make, Joseph.
Before I answer your question, I wanted to ask my brother if his thought is it is human being. Does he think that it is human being that is going to save Nigeria from what we are now, or the system we should get it right? That is the question for him.
But you answer that question. What is your answer to that question?
I should answer the question?
Yes.
Okay. Should I answer the question that I just asked? No, I have no problem to answer the question, please.
Let him answer it because we are deep in now. So answer your own question and then
Okay. I think it is not human being that is going to solve our problem in Nigeria. The problem that we have in Nigeria is beyond individual, is beyond political party. The problem is this. If you like, go and carry Angel and vote for him to become governor or to become president. Those that have been there before, that are corrupt, that are know how to manipulate the process, the system, they are still there because number one, Obi cannot be president and be minister and be senator, honorable, and also be judiciary. Now, these are arms of government that is going to work with. If he cannot compromise, there is no way he can work with these people. Number one, you should know that in the House of Assembly, after this election, if he does not have majority, he cannot rule Nigeria with his dream. Now, the problem is this. We need the effort and the strength that we have, that we use in doing SARS and supporting Peter Obi. We need to channel that strength towards the House of Assembly members in our various constituencies. Let us take the protest to them in their doorstep, and let us take the protest to them in the House of Assembly to change our constitution, not to amend it. No matter how you amend Nigeria constitution, it will never favor ordinary Nigerian. It will always favor the people that are looting us. Now, people are clamoring for restructuring. People are clamoring for regional control. People are clamoring for regional police. If we have a new constitution, all this can be included inside that new constitution. Aside that, if you like, support anybody you want to support. We are still in where we are. Let me tell you something. In 2014 through 2015, the support Buhari got from Nigerians is more than this Peter Obi trending. It was between South and North. Heavily, it was having support. It was having support from the whole country. It's 10 times more than this Peter Obi. Peter Obi is only trending in South. Have you ever heard a group or people coming out from the north and saying Peter Obi, Peter Obi?
Now
No.
they will go and tell you that there's some download somewhere that says Peter
No,
Obi.
no, that is false. That is false.
It's true, but it's a nonsense because it's just some obscure guy in the north.
I just want to use that as an example to tell you that the momentum that Buhari got in 2014 and 2015 is 10 times more than this. Where we are today, where are we? Look at where we are. We are in a deep mess, a deeper mess than what Buhari met. Because the people that are there, they are colonized Buhari into the system that they want. No matter how you will do it. Everybody in NNPP, everybody in Labour, all of them is either a member of APC or PDP. Former. Kwakwaso is former member of APC and PDP. What do you say about that? Peter Obi is former member of PDP. If I may ask this question to people that are supporting Peter Obi, I have nobody that I'm supporting. I'm supporting the change of our constitution. Now, let me ask this question. Peter Obi is bringing out his credibility now. When he was in PDP, to tell you that even Peter Obi become president, he will compromise Nigeria. When he was in PDP as a vice president in 2019, why didn't he say what PDP done to him when he was a governor in Anambra State? He was covering it up. He was compromising it. He did not say it. He was a vice presidential candidate at Atiku. PDP showed him pepper when he was governor in Anambra State, but he could not say it out. Somebody that compromised such because he want to be vice president. What makes you believe if he become president, he will not compromise our support for him? He will do it also. They impeached him twice in Anambra. PDP did it, but he could not say it in 2019.
He has been saying it on
my brother, 2019, he could not say it because he want to be president. He could not. It is not that he's speaking up now because he found out that he wanted to be president. He wanted to contest under PDP. He found out that the money they are about to spend, he does not have such amount. He decided to leave PDP to Labour. Now he have left PDP. He decided to be speaking. Why did he just speak out in 2019 so that we will know that this is who he is?
Joseph, are you suggesting that there's somewhat some hypocrisy to it?
Yes, of course. It is not human being that will save us out of this problem. Everybody that are contesting, they have one agenda or the other that we Nigerians don't even know. But once they get there, they will come like a snake and go there. When they get there, you will see that they will begin to give unnecessary excuse. Then Peter Obi will not tell you, I'm very sorry, I does not know that this is how the system was before I came in.
You know, that was exactly what Babangida Buhari told us.
Yes, of course. Buhari was promising heaven ahead.
Yes.
He was promising heaven ahead. Now that he's there, he's telling us, I did not know that PDP have killed this country to this extent. Peter Obi is doing the same thing now. When he got there, he will not tell you that House of Assembly did not allow me to work. It's not my fault. Didn't you know that you don't have the majority when you were gathering Nigerians to vote for you to go there? Okay, the time you are supposed to go to, what's it called, the just concluded election in Ekiti State, to go and support your own governorship candidate to win, for you to be gathering people as in governor from east states, House of Assembly members, senators, to be gathering them from east state, state to state, so that when you get there as a president, you will have support of the House of Assembly. You went to be talking about light that when you will become president, you are not the one to handle it direct. It is your minister. And when these corrupt people are there, you as a president, you will have, the constitution does not allow you to scrutinize your minister except you sack him or employ him. Then what are we saying? If he decide to stone our money for the light, he take it off. He have taken it, If you like, you sack him. The constitution does not give you power as a president to arrest your minister. Did you understand what we are saying?
It does. So what do you mean? It does. If he commits a crime, he gets arrested. What do you mean the Constitution? Of course.
No, the Constitution does not say president can arrest his minister. It is when he's being indicted, EFCC can arrest him.
Well, there it is. The president cannot arrest anybody. So
yes, that is what I'm saying. Yeah, but if somebody stole our money, he has already looted the money. So for you to be using propaganda, when you know the issue, the problem of Nigeria, Obi know that the problem of Nigeria is our constitution. Everybody that are contesting, they know. But did you see any of them addressing such? They are not addressing it. That is the major problem we have. If the system is stand, everything you put in the system.
So let's say we break down that constitution. So Reza is the only one saying that.
Okay, I hear in this platform just now, somebody was saying that he would have support Sowore, but because of the direction that people are going, he decided to follow them and support Obi. It means you don't even have
that is rational mind now.
No, he didn't say that. Oh, that is, he said Showore.
My brother, I heard it clearly.
He said the people are moving away from Showore. So
and he's following that trend.
He's following the trend. He's not voting his
that's
mind.
what he said.
Yeah, he's not voting his choice. He's voting people's choice.
Yeah, he's voting trend.
So like such a person now, when you don't even have a role model, a political role model that you are supporting. You don't even tomorrow now. Anybody, you are just supporting anybody who will come. Anywhere people follow, you follow them. That is not how Nigeria can get better. Let us address the issue. The issue is the constitution, nothing else. If you like carry criminal to come and rule us when the constitution is stand, the criminal cannot take one kobo. That is the truth. If you like carry angel to come and rule us when the constitution is not good, the angel cannot rule us to better Nigeria. Rather, he will be colonized into stealing our money.
All right, thank you, Joseph. So, Joseph, I'm going to ask you a question. But
the question you asked me concerning Ekweremadu and Peter Obi.
But be very brief on that because you know it's meant to be 2 hours this session and we're already past 2 hours. So if you want to address that very, very briefly, you can. But you've already presented very well. But I was going to ask you, and you're not obliged to answer. But which region of Nigeria are you from?
I'm from Edo State.
All right, you are one of our world pieces people. Okay, brilliant. So today
from his voice, I already know. From his voice.
My brother, all that we are discussing now, we have seen it all in Edo State.
Yeah,
our governor came. He came on the platform of I'm a technocrat. I will make Edo State this and this. I will do a seaport in this place. I will bring light to Edo State. When he know that he does not have power to bring light to Edo State, when he know that he does not have the license to go and create seaport, he have propaganda his way into the government. Now he's telling us the federal government is not allowing me. That is propaganda.
Nigerians are gullible people now. They can
that is what I'm trying to tell you.
They are people
people can be so deceitful like the snake and come into the government, and when they know that this is not what we need is the change of the constitution. Without that, every other person that is talking, if Peter Obi even say is credible, let me ask, when he was a governor, did he take security vote? If he do, he's a criminal because security vote is a fraud. It's the first fraud in Nigeria. How can a state governor, for example, now in Edo State, we are receiving 2.something billion as our allocation in a month, and the governor is being given 700 million for a security vote. That is more than 30% of what the whole state needs, and he will secure only himself with that money. Is that not fraud? So if Peter Obi took security votes while he was a governor, he have nothing to tell me as a person concerning credibility. So thank you very much. If you have any questions, say it, I will answer you.
I do have questions, but for reasons of time, I have to move the conversation on. But let me move it in the direction of Saki and put to him the question that I put to you originally. So Saki, what I was asking Joseph was that the Ekweremadu space, do you think it was do you think it is too toxic for Peter Obi to have commented on? And do you find that his comment somewhat inappropriate when he says that his thoughts are with the Ekweremadu who stand accused of child trafficking and attempting to harvest a minor's organ? Is this another faux pas from the man from Anambra?
Actually, nobody knows the truth of the matter in the case of Ekweremadu. But when you read what Peter Obi wrote, just read it objectively and let's avoid maybe trying to criticize. Just look at what he has written and analyze it. So my analysis of what he wrote is just two parts. In the first part, he prays for the girl to recover. He prays for the girl who is sick to recover. Then in the second part, he commits Ekweremadu, the father to the girl, the mother, and then the girl to God for justice to be done. So this is the way I saw what he
and the boy that was taken to London to be butchered, he had no thoughts about him. The boy that was
anyway, Ekweremadu is now the person whose allegation is placed upon. So he is trying to pray, let justice be done. If he's actually guilty, let him face it. If he's not guilty, let justice.
He said his thoughts are with the Ekweremadu family.
Thoughts in the sense that he said my family and I, that we are with you in the travels you are passing through. The travel is a travel he's passing through. So
right.
the travel is two. Number one is that
that's a message of support.
No, that
understanding
of
let's
not
worry now.
use
We will
sentiment.
understand English. It's a message.
One man, you're not giving Obi his fair share of what he said. He said his heart is with the family. He didn't say it's not against. He's for the recovery of.
If your heart is with somebody, is that not a message of support?
My heart is with you in the travels.
I for one, I'm not a supporter of Ekweremadu. I don't support Ekweremadu in any way.
But that's a message of support. I mean, what are we talking? Let's speak. It's a message of support.
If you observe Obi, even the priest that castigated him, he said he's my father, and he didn't go against him.
Is not his space now, so why is he commenting on it?
What Obi is respecting is the life of the daughter, and he doesn't want to say anything against the life once the life of a woman is at stake. That is what it is, and I understand it.
It was a message of support, and it was inappropriate.
Anyway, and
he has chosen what he wants to respond to.
Everybody will understand it differently. That is the way I understand. I'm just analyzing the way I understand it.
Yes, carry on.
So it's just praying and asking for justice to be
done. One man, I think that is just showing sympathy. He's just showing. He's just expressing his. I think it's a kind of love. It's a kind of a love message to the family. To Ekweremadu.
For what of a 50-year-old boy.
We haven't had the true report yet, because the latest we are hearing. They are in court, but the latest we are hearing is that he met Ekweremadu and the wife met the family of the boy, and actually they are even family friends. The guy agreed to donate the organ, and they agreed with the family before taking him to London. And because their blood could not match, and that they asked that guy that, okay, they can't do it again, and he has to return to Nigeria. And the guy said, Omo,
15-year-old boy.
Omo Mola is not 15 years old, according to what they said. He's 21 years old.
That's the footballer age now. They've done the test.
No, it was that boy that went. It was that boy that went to report after.
That is trying to organ harvest now.
It was that boy that went to police to report that he is 15 years old after he was asked to go back. But actually, he's 21 or 22 years old. So, but he didn't want to go back, and I believe he knows the law well, that anybody that is 15 is a man. Come on, man. It's not human trafficking. It was brought there legally. Ekweremadu even applied for visa for him.
If it's a minor for the purpose of exploitation, it's human trafficking.
No, he's not a minor. That guy is the one that went to police to say he's a minor because he was trying to.
I don't know about that. I'll go with what the police said.
That is the report we had.
Police have done the investigation, and that's the charge.
The police have not. Okay, let's wait
is
now.
That not the charge? That's the charge now. Yeah, you still have the floor.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, on the other issue, you talk about NNAMDI, KANU, and what Buhari said and did not say. I am not after whether NNAMDI KANU committed a crime or not. If he committed a crime and you don't want any political solution, you said you want to allow the court to do, then avoid interfering with the court. Allow the court to do what they are expected to do, and then allow him to have expeditious justice. You can't be delaying somebody. You can't be keeping somebody under detention for more than 1 year now in a solitary confinement. And you said you want the court to take the course of actions. You know, as long as I know, our constitution in Nigeria is not the system we practice in Nigeria. Our constitutional system is not accusatorial. You know, it's like everybody is deemed innocent until found guilty. So as long as the court has not found him guilty, allow the court to do whatever they want to do. I can imagine last month, Nnamdi Kanu was supposed to appear in court last month, and a day before that very day, the judge came out and said she is not disposed, so that the case should be adjourned for another 1 month. So this delay is what
that's a common occurrence within the Nigerian judicial
system.
So
the delay is the issue. So if you say you don't want political solution and then you want the court to do whatever they want, then don't interfere. Several times, court has asked the security agencies to allow him have a change of even clothes for a very long time. It became so difficult to do. They didn't even want to obey the rule. You know. Then you said you are like you want the court to do the right thing. That's not the kind of should face. Then did you do the right thing? Why didn't you try him before bringing him to Nigeria? Why must you
try him where?
In Kenya, like extradition. You know, why must you break international laws because you want to get Nnamdi Kanu? So those are questions we have to ask. So I'm not.
You've not established the circumstances of Nnamdi Kanu's rendition. So you are
whatever circumstance, the international convention, you know, agreed that if you find a fugitive in another country and you want to take him back to your country, you have to try him, and then the country has to, you know, try him on extradition, and then before you now take him. But you didn't do any of these things. Are you not breaking the law? So I think if you really want Nnamdi Kanu you really want to allow the court to do whatever they want to do, then allow him to do that. Allow them to do that without any interference, and let it be expeditious. I don't know what he has been doing in incarceration, like not even in prison. He has been in what do we call it? Is it DSS facility for up to 1 year now. So I don't think they are doing it right. You know, allow him to face the courts.
But he is in court, is he not?
But you see what they are doing now. You see what the way they are going about it. You know, judge will give instructions. They will not obey it. At times they will say they were not able to bring him today because of what do we call it again? Logistic reasons.
Well,
all these things are really laughable. At times they will come to court and say they were not able to allow him change of cloth because the type of cloth they brought is the traditional Igbo kind of.
He had
the lion water. So all those things are. I don't think in a civilized society that should not be done.
No, that's subliminal messaging now. That's subliminal messaging. So they are not going to allow subliminal messaging.
So I don't really know.
What the heck are you saying, one man? What the heck is that?
No, one man is just trying
one man.
He's just trying
you
to make.
You really know how to create controversy here.
Is that not subliminal messaging? When he's wearing a shirt with IPOB insignia, that's subliminal messaging.
Then the last speaker cannot wear whatever they want to wear.
Then the last speaker that said something about the Constitution. I agree with you.
That was Joseph, yes.
I agree with you. The Constitution is our fundamental problem. But then somebody has to come in, you know, and push it. We can't be saying it is our problem, therefore we will not have a president.
My brother has to
come in. I'm trying.
My brother, that is not president. It is not president. It is not president. I want to correct you. It is not president.
Let him just land because I'm eager to hear everybody.
No, brother, listen.
Assembly, right?
It is not the president or any political system or any political force that will change our constitution. If you are waiting for that, you will hold. You will not see it. It is we, the citizen, that will take it by force.
So how do we do that without somebody?
We can take protest. We can. Let me tell you. You see that answers that people did in Nigeria. only that NSAS that they did, the whole Nigeria was shaking.
Then I
Let's
wanted to
assume,
land on something.
Sorry,
let's
Joseph.
assume that NSAS protest.
No. Sorry.
I wanted to land on something.
Just
Then you
land on
talked about
something.
security votes.
Go on.
Right? And I will also add, P2B, as I know, in Anambra State, go and verify this, and I'm telling you, P2B is the only governor who, when he left office in Anambra State till today, is because the governors, I don't know, it's Nigerian kind of things, they do it. Like once you finish your office and you come out of
Are you
office,
talking about the 40 billion that he left?
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about something like pension for governor, for past governors. They do pay them. Once you are governor, and after that, they will be paying you on monthly basis.
But that wasn't what Joseph
no,
was saying.
I'm trying to add to that thing he said.
Yes,
I'm trying to tell him that he's
he
the only
was
governor.
quite specific. Don't worry about that.
No, I'm coming.
No, don't take us on the usual things.
Yeah, and then on the issue of security votes, he never subscribed to that very security vote.
But he collected it.
I don't know, but I think he collected
it. You don't know.
Of
course, he collected it.
I think he collected it and used
if it's
it for
you will not collect.
Not security. I think he collected it and used it for other things, not security.
He's
the only governor today. He's the only governor today who is not receiving that pension. That governor, whatever.
No, that's fine. But the point that Joseph was making is that security vote in itself, because it's an unaudited amount of money that nobody really knows what is being used for, and it's not accounted for. So if he's collecting it, he's already, by virtue of just that act, complicit in fraud.
So what if you collect it and use it for other things and not that security?
We don't have anything to state that he did.
Okay. So, and we don't have anything to state that he did not.
Yeah, but we have it that he did. We know that he collected it.
Let's listen. You need Jesus Christ to come and run Nigeria. You need Jesus Christ to come and run Nigeria.
Yeah,
so for collecting security votes, you are counting this guy out.
Let's not just use sentiment to be cloud our sense of judgment.
You are the one using sentiment now, because what he said stands. He says that the security vote is a fraud, which we know it is, and anybody collecting it is complicit in fraud, which is right. So there's no equivocation on that. That's just a categorical statement.
Anyway, let's go and vote for Jesus Christ to come, and then
all right.
So that you'll be happy. Then one man. Last thing, sorry. Just a digression.
Yeah.
Yesterday I tried to come in the night, but I wasn't able to come in. I saw a kind of thing that's happened between you and is it Tiobala, something like that?
Right.
Yeah. So I understand how you felt, but this is you are a public, you are serving the public, so I will really advise that you shouldn't allow certain emotions to make you act beyond levels. Just ignore certain things. You should, the way you took him off. I had thought maybe you should have just...
No, so you're right to say that. And really, I don't like to talk about somebody when they're not around to defend themselves, because I think that's a bit unfair. But just to say that this and then to move on, there's just one rule only that I have on this platform, is somebody not to use foul language or be rude. So every single time that that chap comes here, he often, I cannot think of an instance that is neither not foul or rude, and I cannot abide it, because if I let it go, then it will just turn into some ugliness when people are shouting abuse across each other. So I will not abide that. You can say virtually anything, but just the two rules: no foul language and no rudeness. Just defend your opinion, and if you don't have the language skills or the cranial functioning to defend it, then you yield to a counter argument. But don't resort to guttural sort of, that I just don't have the stomach for it. I cannot stand it. Rudeness and foul language. I've never been able to, just to handle those. So So that was that. But thank you for that. Thank you for that, Saki. So Saki, let me go on from you to Kaluta, who joins us. So Kaluta, I mean, you've been listening patiently to the conversation. We've covered a myriad of stuff. So whichever one, well, before I come to you, let me acknowledge Alexander Gomez's super chat. He says, Nigeria's main issue, and I think this is in agreement with somewhat what Joseph was saying. Nigeria's main issue is constitutional. State financial autonomy will solve the problem 80%, in my opinion. Revenue generation with a percentage to the federal government. So thank you, Alexander, for that. And that was the original constitution of the Nigerian space. The original constitution of the Nigerian space was that 70% vested in where it is, and then 30% to the federal space. But through the series of coups that we've had with the Fulanis, that has now transmuted to about 85% to the Fulanis and to the federal government, and 15% to the wherever the resources are. And they are even quibbling that still. So that is the thing, and that is still where the solution is. Nigeria's issue is constitutional. State financial autonomy will solve the problem 80%, in my opinion. Revenue generation with a percentage to the federal government. So thank you, Alexander. And I think that was what obtained in Once Upon a Time. Babati also with the super chat. Please leave Jesus Christ alone when it comes to Nigeria's problem. The man has suffered enough. Let him live in peace, I beg. So thank you. And I don't really see why people should, I don't really see why people should call God into Nigeria's matter. Because what more are you looking for? What more are you looking for from God? He's giving you vast wealth. He's giving you intelligence. Everything that everybody is praying for, God has gifted Nigerians. So what more are you asking him to come and do for you? So thank you, Babati.
It is you that condemns Ore, condemn Obi. Then it is only Jesus Christ that is remaining now.
So yes. So please leave Jesus Christ alone when it comes to Nigeria's problems. The man has suffered enough. Let him live in peace. So thank you, Babati, for that. But I've always found it amusing when Nigerians are praying. What more? So God should come and give you oil and gold and arable, fertile land and people with intelligence and education so you can build the country. He has already given you that. So what more are you asking for? So what are they asking God for, Kulata?
One man. You know what they no, speak. Go ahead.
Say God don't forget our matter. All this God this people going to church, mosque, just wasting everybody's time. But I want to thank God for Alexander Gomez's message and the Sunday or someone from Edo. I think they get our problem. Like a lot of us kind of invest our hopes in all these personalities that, hey, they speak nice, they act nice, they have this disposition, and we're like, oh no, it's corruption free, it's going to do this, going to do that. The structure does not support change. And from what was shared about that Edo State example, I was very happy when he was talking about Obaseki promising everything, technocrat. He gets there, the guy is handicapped. I'm sure he wanted to do good, but the system doesn't support it. So our fight should not be, so Were can't do anything, Obi can't do anything. It's just feel good. What we need to do is, after the elections, let's fight. And let's fight for constitutional amendment. I don't think we can suspend the constitution except we can get significant amount of fight that kind of like shuts down the country in its entirety. That would be difficult. But we can fight the kind of fight that those NSAS did and kind of like fight that fight on steroids and start demanding devolution of powers. And when we can get devolution of powers, then we won't be bothered about who is the president. I'll be more bothered about who is the governor of Osun State or governor of Delta State. I mean, areas where I have family ties. Not all these president, because no president can wave a magic wand on a bad system. I mean, think about what it will take if Obi gets there to kind of like pass any law. Doesn't he have to bribe those senators and those House of Rep? He has to bribe them now. So all those no shishi for this, no shishi for that is impractical. If he gets there in this current system, he will bribe. If Shawara gets there, if he's interested in moving a needle, he has to do something. And a president does not control the judiciary. You just don't have the apparatus in your hand and say, hey, you go to jail, you do this. In NNAMDI take him out of the judicial system, we solve it with the political system. It doesn't work that way. If we're going to follow rule of law, there's each division is separate and they have their own power. So the system is sluggish. We need constitutional amendment. I would like us to kind of like override the entire constitution, but I think that's too big a fight. But at least we can get that amendment. We can start. Whoever becomes president, for sure.
The real thing, Kulata, that I've always thought is just to attack that exclusive list and just decimate it, because that is the shackles around the legs of the Nigerian space. That is where they are holding us chained to the desk.
Exactly. We need to stop pinpointing. A few things are happening, but it's just too slow. Like, look now, they're putting a bill where states will be allowed to generate power. I think Tinubu had that fight early 2000 when he brought AES or Enron, and Obasanjo said they couldn't plug it into national grid. I can't remember the full details, but now I think now they're trying to push something where states will be able to generate their power. That is a positive development. Then we attack the exclusive list. Then we talk about state police. It's going to be gradual, but that is what our fight and energy should be. We should stop wasting time with all these personalities.
So do we have the time for the pace at which change occurs in Nigeria? Because, like you said, if you think when Tinubu was governor, that was when he was fighting for Lagos State and other states to be able to generate their electricity. This is nearly 25 years on from that fight, and this is now when they are giving it consideration. So at this pace, can we really progress at this pace when we know the problems, but we rebel and recoil from the solutions?
The truth is, it's going to be slow. The optimistic side of me says, if we unleash the youths, we can speed it up. But speeding it up doesn't mean we start fighting for anything and everything. We need to kind of like target the fight, like one thing at a time. We be laser focused on one thing.
There are two things that we will target: is state policing and uncoupling energy generation from electricity from the exclusive list, and then resource control. But that resource control, that was a bigger fight.
That's a bigger fight.
With the state policing and being able to, I cannot see how anybody should be resistant to that, especially given what we're living through at the moment.
Just imagine we win those first two. Just imagine we get state police. Just imagine we get power generation. If we get state police, we can try and secure our own immediate surroundings. To an extent. If we can get the power generation, it means like we kind of decouple economy from the federal government more. People can do services, then services will be a possibility. We can make more money. I like us making more money so we can do all our wishes. So we should do all this targeted fights, in my opinion, because all those illiterate northerners that come and vote in elections, they've tuned off at that point in time. They don't care at that point in time. They've collected whatever they give them in the election. They voted the candidate that everybody hates, and they're kind of like done and over with. But that is the time us should be aware that this is when we can make impact. See, the NSAS movement didn't get support in the North, but they got the result they wanted. That is the template that we should follow, and not waste time emotionally. I used to do that too. I will believe one candidate, believe that candidate. And I just like sat down to think like, what am I even doing? Like, I know nothing's going to happen with the structure. So I will want everybody, if you try to save money to give one candidate, is there a credible organization that can actually fight, like that can organize fight? I know Showore is good in that, but is distracted with this presidential thing. It should stay in that kind of like activist arena, and let's do all this targeted activism. That's my opinion. That's what I think will help.
All right, brilliant, well put. So for reasons of time, let me go on from you to Joel, just to make sure all voices are documented. But
you've not called me that one man, oh.
Huh?
You've not called me, oh.
Oh, who have I not called?
World Peace.
Oh, World Peace. Oh, let me come to you then first, World Peace. I do beg your pardon. People were dropping in and out, and I thought you'd. So let me come to you, World Peace, and then the final words to to Joel. So to your word, please, the conversation.
And what topic?
Speak on the Peter Obi's somewhat comments towards the Kwerimadu space, saying that his sympathy is with the family through their travails, and that he wishes God's justice be done. So I was thinking that I was suggesting that one, he was pointing his sympathy quite wrongly, and two, that space somewhat too toxic for him to even comment on at all. So what are you making of Peter Obi's comments to Ekweremadu?
Okay, good evening, one man. Anyway, for his comment, I didn't really see anything wrong in it. Would I call it sportsmanship, or how would I say? Is his friend. Ekweremadu is his friend. Apart from politics, they are friends, and that's a mature thing to do, regardless politics. There's life after politics. You should at least commemorate with them, how they say commemorate with them, or how they say the English again. I'm not gonna say it, but I don't know how. So, but stressing it too far, people will now start suspecting something behind it. But at least that's the normal thing to do, to reach out and just condolence and all that. That's how I see that of Peter Obi and Kwerimadu stuff. It's unfortunate though, but I don't really see politics in that.
All right, and to the space, 1.8 billion naira in cash, along with G-Wagons, exotic cars, Rolex, etc., found in a house belonging to the former Chief of Army Staff in Abuja. So the Chief of Army Staff, of course, he has been in paid employment all his working life. So how did it come about, this vast fortune? What piece?
Yeah, that's a Buratai, right?
Yes, Buratai.
Yeah, we know these Aboki people like to put their own loot at home. That's really affecting the Nigerian economy. I wish they put their own in the bank now. At least bank will see we're using the money for development, but they rather put their loot at home. Yeah, that guy looted too much. Money meant for arms, procurement for Boko Haram and all that. He stole them. That's why the soldiers who were high in Nigeria. Guy is a thief, he's a criminal, should be arrested. But I think there's a conflicting news coming out now that the ICPC is saying something else. Like,
yeah, they are now claiming that it's not Buritai's house after all. And then they are changing the amount of money.
Now, and they're saying they're not charging me yet, but they're saying the money is missing, but no, we're not saying he's the one that stole it, but money is missing. What are you not saying? Money is missing, he's not the one that stole it. You found money. Did the money fall from the sky? Now they will reduce the money, they will reduce it to like a number that people say, okay, it's too small for him to steal. But the guy is a thief. But is it now they are coming out to hold this guy? There are a lot of them like that. The other guy, Mina, stole a lot too now. He ran.
Yeah, but he's in court, isn't he?
Yeah, he's in court. That one court started during Jonathan's time.
And I think his son has been jailed, or he even has been jailed, if I recall rightly.
Sorry, yeah, something like that. A lot of them like that. A lot of them stole money and put at home. Just stash it at home, stash it in Niger Republic, Chad, wherever they can stash the money. They prefer to put their money at home than the bank. These people will run that country dry. If we continue to look at them, they continue like this.
Do you think the incoming administration, they should change the naira? They should change the currency notes so that then all of these people, they render then that money useless that these people have started.
That naira change, it did not help us those days in the 80s. We were changing naira as 1 month. If you could recall that time, I think that thing affected our economy. Any president that took over then, they would just change naira. I think Buhari changed naira too, right?
Yeah, it was just to change it's still the same denominations, but you change. Maybe you change it from white to green or something, or just change it. Just change,
so if you change it, if they change it
presentation, yeah.
Doesn't that cost money?
Well, it costs money. It costs money. But really, what all these people do is they, like with this example we're citing now, they stash all this money. They either in soccerways, in strong rooms, in fortified estates, etc.
Yeah.
And there are countless, hundreds and hundreds of billions of naira stashed all over Nigeria and Niger Republic and Chad. So if they change the currency, then these people are either forced to pipe that money back into the system or just abandon it. but certainly they are profiting from it is then negated.
Yeah, well, it would be good if it does not have an effect on our economy, the change in naira. Because if they change it, certainly there's going to be a lot that we're going to lose. Even now, they are losing some people. Some of them are dying, and their kids don't know where they hid the money. So, just like Escobar money. So but that is not good for economy. I don't know if the central bank is going to reprint all those numbers they cannot find, but that country is a case. That guy should supposed to be in jail right now. Be questioning him because that guy killed Nigerian military. Buratai to be in jail. That's how I see it.
No conscience.
All right, brilliant. And to the space, where was I taking you to?
It's gonna be Nnamdi Kanu. We've gone to two now.
Yes, to the Nnamdi Kanu. Yes, to the Nnamdi Kanu space. Buhari insisting that he has no intentions of either a political settlement or granting him bail. And he cites the example that when he was once granted bail, this was what happened. So, what are you making of Buhari's stance?
Yeah, of course. Any Nigerian knows Buhari would not release Nnamdi Kanu. And anybody that knows Buhari very well knows is in Buhari DNA. People he arrested during his time in 1983, most of them died. Ali died. Almost all of them died in jail. He didn't release them. So we know Buhari for that. I don't think the next government will release Nnamdi Kanu too, because one thing that the Nigerian government is consistent of is have continuity in is arrest. Any government, any persons that Nigerian government got arrested or how will I use it in English again, put in jail, the next administration will not release him. Okay, for example, that of a passenger, those Mossop guys. I think some of them got released after 15 years time after Buhari Obasanjo left office. You can imagine that. The next government came, Yar'Adua came, he kept them. Jonathan came, he kept them. Was this Buhari regime? He now released them. So Nnamdi Kanu is not going to be released, as I say. I don't think in the next 4 years. I said political game, but for what Buhari said in London, he meant it and he would do it. And Nnamdi Kanu said a lot. He issued a lot of threat to Buhari and his clan. So you don't expect they will release him too. Nobody will release anybody that think is a threat to them. But for me, I would prefer they speeding the court case. Either they sentence to jail or they release him if we know what we are facing. If we're going to face more chaos from IPOP, we know is that we are going to face. If you're going to send him to jail, let's send him to jail so we know that space is over. But because the case is still slow in court now, it's creating room for all kind of nonsense and shenanigans. So I'm not surprised about Buhari releasing all he said in London. He's not going to release Nnamdi Kanu. And certainly the next governor, even though he's not going to release Nnamdi Kanu too. He's not releasing for political gains. This election, he's not going to release that guy. They will not release him for the next 10 years. He will be there.
All right. So thank you. All right. I was just going to go to Joe just now, but I may have dipped out again. But thank you for that. Everybody, has dipped out. Everybody has dipped out, so it's time for me to dip out too. Then.
Okay.
So thank everyone. So we reconvene for the evening session. You know the routine, 9:35 p.m. UK time. Make sure you are already clicked on the like button, and if you are not subscribed already, then what is wrong with you? Just do that. Do that as I speak now. So make sure you are subscribed and make sure you have clicked on the like button. So haven't done that, so come join me in the comment section where the conversation never stops. So I'll leave you here, carry the conversation on within the comment section, but here I say peace. Thank you, everyone.